them know that we are the American Indians. Half a color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But not a brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago. Even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them, as a purebred daughter or son of them. Right here now, no matter what you call yourself.
We are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African. Nigga, you a lying motherfucker.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So you don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. So, I'm smash the like button, y'all. Because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And I don't know if they're going to be brave enough to step to the throne. Okay? But I'm going to tell it how it is. Because I'm tired of them. I'm tired. Thanks, Darius. Hey, girl 72. Alfreda Moon. Darius Matthews. Enots. Hey, now, smash the like button, y'all, because it's about to get real up in this piece. For real. I must speak. I must let it be known, okay? And I don't care what nobody in YouTube says. All skin folks ain't kinfolks. And I'm just going to put that out there. Me, based on what I'm researching and have been researching now for the last 4 years and like 9 months, because it's going to go on 5 years for me. Oh, no. My research is clearly, and it's adding up, and I've cross-referenced like a motherfucker at regarding to the slave trade and who's the real African in the Americas. Oh, yes. Cross-referencing, checking things, and I'm like, something's not adding up. Because, number one, in the North, let me just say this. Around the time these slaves are supposed to be shipped here in the North, it wasn't a lot of Africans being shipped in the North. Number one, the North was very racist, and it still is today. I'm talking about further up north where I am. Okay, I'm past New York, going to Boston, but I'm not. I'm 2 hours away from Boston. But let me tell you something. They wasn't bringing no Africans here. They already had enslaved Indians and doing indentured servitude jobs here in the North. For the most part, 90% of the workers and slavers or whatever were indentured servants. Some of them, very few, were slaves. The North was really not like that, and heavy in slavery. Let me see. Because at the time these slaves are supposed to be shipped here, all right, they had already enslaved thousands and thousands of Indians from the North here. They had already done that. Other tribes got together with the colonizers, after, just before the development of the states. Okay, I'm talking colonial times. They had enslaved a lot of Indians, and there were thousands of different Indians here in the North. All right. Now, when we get to the South, they enslaved a lot of Indians. I'm talking mainland. And the ones that was wild and they couldn't control, they shipped them out to places like Barbados and Jamaica. Seriously, the Indians that was here on the mainland. All right. And in the South, they didn't have a whole lot of Africans that they brought in from Africa. They didn't bring them here because in the South, we owned a lot of our lands and enslaved our own people, our own Indians, our own families. And that's a fact on top of facts. Virginia got slaves brought in from the islands. That's why they had Spanish last names. Facts. But the biggest slave owners was Negroes in the South. And A1 already proved that. Now, let me tell you something right now. And I keep cross-referencing, like, where is these fucking Africans? Where the hell are they? So I keep looking and taking notes. And I'm like, because, in our families, North and South, at dinner tables, Indians talk at dinner tables. And we would have had conversations in the 60s and 70s about slave ships coming in here and our families coming. We would have known of a story of such. And this is some real shit. Our grandmothers and grandfathers would have said, well, we got a family that came in on slave ships from Africa. We would have said, they would have even mentioned something to the extent that, now them are people over there. And, we got family over there. That conversation never took place in our homes. We would have known. What our ancestors were threatened and had to hush was the fact that they were Aboriginals, aka Indians. That was what they were threatened if they said. Now, if they had to say, oh yeah, we're from Africa and they brought us in on slave ships, they wasn't hushed from saying that. It would have worked in the colonial government's favor. But that didn't take place. And when they showed the movie Roots, even my grandma and mine had like strange looks on their face, like, you know, and I remember mom saying, "Well, they trying to say that those are people." My mother had no clue. My mother was born in 48. She's 74, about to be 75. My grandmother was born in 1931. We watched that damn movie together. My great great grandmother was born in 1908. My great 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 grandmother was born in 1878. My great 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 grandmother was born in 1837. And her grandmother was born in 1817. And I'm like, where's the fucking slave ships, yo? We would have known. My oldest grandmother that I recall died in 1922, and she was born in 1837. And she died in 1922. So she would have passed the story to us. All they talked about was Indians. That was it. Now, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, where the fuck is these Indians coming from? These Africans. And I'm like, why would they keep saying they brought Africans to America? And see, when I think of America, my mindset had to get asphyxiated that America is the mainland and the islands and Central and South America and up in Canada. And then I'm like, it dawned on me. I'm like, oh shit. This is why all those HOK people and the Pan-Africans keep standing on who they are. I said, now I get it. But they think we're the same people. And it's there. And I looked and I was like, wait a minute. The ones who are fighting and predominantly standing on this, they're all fucking Jamaicans. For real. And I'm like, well, damn. It didn't dawn on me until maybe a couple of months ago. And I said, I got to look. I can't understand why. Now, I know during the Revolutionary War that Indians begged the British soldiers to take them when they leave, give them somewhere else to go and start a new life. And the British soldiers kept their word, and they took them out of here and brought them to Nova Scotia, Jamaica, and London, England. Yeah, that's what I do recall. And I have those records to state that. So I said, something ain't fucking right. And I'm like, I can't for the life of me understand why I just do not relate with Jamaicans. Because I already don't relate with Africans like that. I don't dislike them, but culturally and energy wise, I'm not connected as though they're my people. And I'm like, something's not right. And I get that same feeling from a lot of Jamaican dudes. And I said, okay, oftentimes when I'm talking to them, when I say something to them, they take it in a different manner. They don't literally understand our word usage, just like they have different word usage. So if we'll say, if my granny's angry or upset with one of us running around the house, my grandmother say, take your ass outside and play. Right? That's Big Mama, mainland. Now, Jamaicans, I hear them say, go tire yourself, meaning go outside and play and get tired outside. We have different word usage, even though they're English words, but you have to think about what they're saying to understand it. So it's different English dialogue. So right there is the confounding of the language between us. So when I explain something to them, my word usage means something else to them in English language. And that's the horrible communication barrier between myself and Jamaican people. All right. And I couldn't put two and two together until I finally just like said, well, wait a minute, because I'm sick of this rude shit. I watch Q Butter's channel, because when he be talking about his school and stuff. But these niggas, as soon as I hit the chat, you got these Jamaican bombasta niggas, and I'm like, look, and I just do not like them. I'm serious. I don't. They're I'll get back into them later. But just I'll get back into their bullshit later in a minute. But let's just go through this. After comparing and comparing and comparing, I said, something's up with these damn Jamaican dudes, because it's something I never thought that our culture was alike. I don't think that Jamaicans are like Europeans. I don't. A lot of instances. I do not. I grew up around Europeans, okay, colonial states, and their culture is not like it's not their culture. I'm telling you, I'll get to that. But let's just see where these fucking slaves went. Let's just look what I just quickly pulled up, and I said, that's it. These are the fucking Africans they're talking about. So let's just look at this for a minute, y'all. And I don't care who don't like it, because then I'm going to tell you about your little dusty asses. And that goes for all you. I don't care. Now, you go and you read, you read, and I'm like, okay, where 99% of the Africans were shipped to in America, period. All right. So when we say America, we are saying the damn islands too. But look what I found. I'm like, well, god damn, that's it right there. They ain't fucking us, and I don't care. Your feelings hurt? Oh, well, get over it. It says 4.7 million. Okay, and these are different reportings. From 1560 to 1850, about 4.8 million enslaved people were transported to Brazil. 4.7 million were sent to the Caribbean. That's a lot. That's where your goddamn Africans are. And that's why my energy don't connect with these motherfuckers. And at least 388,000, or 4% of those who survived the Middle Passage, arrived in North America. Now, before 1641, 240,000 Africans were transported to the Spanish colonies in the Caribbean. They keep the Caribbean, it's Caribbean, and in Central America. But a larger number, 337,000, were deposited in Recife, Salvador, the Bahia, Rio de Janeiro, and Brazilian coastal cities. Some 5 million enslaved Africans were taken to the Caribbean. That's where their asses is at, in the Americas. Almost half of whom were brought to the British Caribbean. 2.3 million. As planters became more reliant on enslaved workers. That's why I said enslavement means working. The populations of the Caribbean colonies changed so that people born in Africa or their descendants came to form the majority. And it goes to, where did most slaves from Africa go? Brazil and British American ports were the points of disembarkation for most Africans. On the whole, over the 300 years of the transatlantic slave trade, 29% of all Africans arriving in the New World disembarked at British American ports. 41% disembarked in Brazil. What were the three main destinations in the Americas for African slaves. The destinations of slaves taken to the Americas were equally diverse. Slavers carried most of the Africans caught up in the trade to Brazil, approximately 5 million, with another 2.25 million sent to the British Caribbean. And about 1.7 million to the French Caribbean. Most of the rest landed in Spanish America. And then it goes, so where did the British transport slaves? Britain was the most dominant between 1640 and 1807. And it is estimated that Britain transported 3.1 million Africans, of whom 2.7 million arrived to the British colonies in the Caribbean, North and South America, and to other countries. I'm fucking done. I'm done with that anyway. And I'm going to say this, and I don't care if you don't like it. Jamaican. They ain't us. That's what I'm telling you, my energy. Don't connect with them people like that. They are not us. They dance like Africans. We do not dance like Jamaicans. Nothing about the way we dance is like Jamaicans. Jamaicans dress and they dance like Africans. It's like Jamaicans start with their damn left foot and we start with our right foot. They don't dance like us. Their culture is not like ours. I don't like their food. I'm keeping it very real. I break out in really bad hives. I have to cook my own food. If I'm going to call myself cooking Jamaican food, I have to cook my own. Their seasonings are not for my body, and my doctor told me that. Because I tell him what I ate. He said, you can't eat those seasonings. They're not from here. They're not. And I'm sorry, I don't care who don't like it. So now, but it makes more sense as to why those dudes in Q Butter's community and in Say Netter's community stand on Africa, because they are indeed Africans, because they didn't bring them on the mainland like that. The Indians over here was not having it. They wasn't. And that's a fact. And even in Benjamin Franklin speaking, he even said, don't bring them over here. He said it. So now that I understand, because we were already here occupying. So that's why he said, why keep bringing more? No. So they brought their asses to Jamaica. And the time period adds up. They are Africans. Some of them are not, but only a few of them are not, because they intermingled with Africans when all them Africans came over there. That shit didn't go down here, It did not. And I don't care what nobody say until you prove that to be wrong. I can pull schedules where they begin coming back and forth because they asses need a green card to get over here. For real. They can't just walk up in here and they get deported. They are Africans. And they're not us. I don't care. I've been trying to say something's not fucking right. And I already know we don't relate communication-wise. That's even proven at work. I was like, wait. I said, that's it. They're the fucking Africans. It never dawned on me, because all I ever thought about was the story where after the Revolutionary War, they took Indians out of here and brought over there as a promise. But there was, and even at that point, there was already Aboriginal Tainos there already, in every part of South America. where they brought these Africans to. And there's only a little, they didn't even bring that many in South Carolina because they could only bring them in Charleston. Facts. Because that was the only British colony there. And I'm like, well, I be damned. Yes, Mr. Locke, up in Canada and Nova Scotia, but Nova Scotia was begging for the government there to get him out of there because they was taking up all the work. And that's where you got those book of Negroes from. They was like, yo, get him out of here. There's no work for us to do. So they took him out of Nova Scotia and brought them down to like the other British island areas where there were Negroes already there too occupying. Because the Pequots was there before they put the Africans there. The Pequots was there. And before that, there was already Negroes there occupying. Facts. So I'm like, now I get it. And I don't care if nobody don't like it. We're not them. Facts. Their food, the way they dance, their style, their culture is very, very much African. And they have severe African features. And I put this, I said, let me look at this shit. So I said, let me put this shit up here. I said, wait a minute, let me look at this shit. Now at the top, you got the mainland Indians, Negroes. You got Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kobe, Ice Cube, and Denzel. All right. Then you go down to the Jamaicans, Usher, Biggie, Shaba, and what's his name? Buster. They're Jamaicans. Their features are not like the folks on the top row. If you're looking at it, their features are not alike. Usher looks very Jamaican and African. Love all these brothers right here in the Jamaican row. But facts on facts. Then you look at the real Africans below. They look Jamaican. That's how Jamaicans dress right now, walking down the street, even if it's in the summer. They'll throw those hot-ass suit on culturally and dress differently from us. Look at Usher's outfit. It matches the Africans below. That's their style. Look at Shaba. I'm sorry. Two different breeds of people. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't even care if they was called Negroes or whatever. They are the Africans. It hit me so hard. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Their ancestors is working. They're the damn Africans that was brought to the Americas. Always trying to copy us. Them African dudes down there at the bottom, that is how Jamaicans dress. That is not our style. That is not our culture. We don't walk like them. We don't talk like them. Same thing with Jamaicans. Their style and their features are very African. Now, I'm not going to say all the people over in the islands, over there in Jamaica, I'm just talking about Jamaica, are Africans, but them in Jamaica, it's a whole lot of them in there that's African. And I really believe that. I do. Just, it's their culture alone. They did not bring millions of slaves on the mainland, yo. The only way they're getting in here now is by green card for low wage jobs. They've been doing that with West Indians for years, man. For years. And then they got sick of the West Indian shit and started deporting a lot of their asses back. Right? And then they started opening up the door for more Mexicans to get the jobs for landscaping. But prior to that, a lot of West Indians did the landscaping and shit and took the very severe cheap labor jobs like they still do today. But now a lot of people from Mexico are getting those contracts for landscaping with corporate businesses everywhere. And they do a goddamn good job. And that's a fact. I'm sorry, my family is nothing like that. Now, in Cuba and Haiti, a lot of Haitians, they are truly aboriginals to Haiti and Cuba. 90%, not 99% us. Dumb ain't Africans. They was already there. And that's a fact. Haitians and Dominicans are actually the mixed ones. The Haitians are not. And I know that about Haitians. I got their every goddamn thing. I know that about Haitians. And that's a fact. Let me see. Where my girl at? American Indian over in Haiti. Sorry. Don't even do it. Now, did they throw some Jamaicans down there, but they hurried up and get on it because a lot of Jamaicans and Haitians don't get along. And that's some real shit. Don't even do it. We are not them. It is them trying to make us, by them mimicking us, trying so fucking hard, but they throw it off when they start getting dressed to go to the club. And that's a fact. Oh, that's a straight up fact. A lot of them, and y'all got to see this shit for what it is. They are the Africans, and they're trying to fight for reparations on the motherfucking mainland. They you did slavery, but you did it in Jamaica and the islands. We ain't got shit to do with the British Islands. Nothing to do with slavery in the British Islands. You go to the Queen for that. This is why I fought so hard on not getting there. I'm like, no, hell no. When they came over here from Jamaica, them Africans, when they started letting them come over here with green cards that was identifying as Jamaicans, okay? They wasn't under our slavery on the mainland. And that's who's trying to fight for reparations. They better go to the Queen with that shit because we ain't got nothing to do with Jamaica and British Islands. That's the name speaks for itself. That's where you need to go. The Pequots fought for their shit because they was taken out of here, enslaved, and put over in Barbados and shit. They won their fight. That's why they have their casino up. They're rude. I don't get along with them. The men. They're disgusting. They're disrespectful with their mouth. And I know that culturally, I was like, okay, this hit the pin on the donkey's ass for me. When I said, all right, I got to go make my old man's lunch for work. And anytime about, yeah, that's all European and all that. Let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck if you're in the north of America, down here in the northern states, or in the southern states. Big Mama always made lunch for Grandpa. That's where I get that habit from, and made sure he ate something healthy if he went to work. That's a natural habit for me. I will always throw some fruit or something, or what do you call it? Applesauce or something healthy in my daughter's lunchbox. I do the same thing for Willie, and he's a grown ass man. Because I know our men, a lot of them times our men don't like to remember to pick up something healthy to eat. So I'll throw fruit in there and he'll laugh, when he gets, on the road and says she threw it in there. But I know constantly he's eating it. And listen, when we was little kids, Big Mama had like 10 brown paper bags because she was making sure all her grandkids had lunch for school. Because in my day, at a certain time, we brought lunch to school. And even though they gave breakfast and lunch for free, Big Mama still packed our lunch bag for us. It was 10 bags on the table, and we all knew to grab one. Whether it was a goddamn peanut butter and jelly sandwich with 3 fucking cookies and an apple or some kind of fruit, Big Mama made sure we put food in our stomach. So we ate the goddamn school lunch and we ate Big Mama lunch when we went to school. Because for a minute, they used to let us out in school, let us out to go home and have lunch. And then we had to come back to school after lunch. And then they stopped that. I remember this shit when I was little. And that was back in like 1970. And I was like first, second kindergarten. For real. And guess what? There was no Jamaicans in my elementary school. None. No Jamaicans in my elementary school in Connecticut. And that's a fact. I would have known. We had two Cubans that looked like me in my elementary school, and two girls from Haiti in our public school back in 1975. And that was it. Oh, yeah. And 2 white girls. Not one African in my whole school career. Elementary school, middle school, high school, still no Africans. When I moved from close from Bridgeport, which is like 30 minutes from New York, to Hartford, that's when I saw my first fucking Jamaican. And I thought they were Africans or black people talking with funny British accents. Because my mother was like, you don't know what a Jamaican is? I'm like, oh. I said, why they talking funny? They making fun of white people. She said, no, they're Jamaican. She said, you never heard of a Jamaican? I said, no. I thought they were black people making fun of the way proper people speak English. And she's like, no, baby. They're really Jamaican, and I had to learn. So I thought they were Africans making fun of British accent people. Now let me tell you about these motherfuckers up here in the north with the chicks too. These motherfuckers beg real bad. They back when I was in high school. They was trying to recruit young high school girls because in their country, I guess it's okay to marry early, but the United States had already passed laws by the time I got in high school. They was trying to get people from high school to marry somebody from Jamaica, whether it was a boy or a girl, so that they could come to America. They was trying to get white people to do it, and these chicks from the hood was doing that ferociously back in the 80s. So they could get cars. You talking, they was hitting the hood sisters real hard to marry these dudes. And then after 5 years, y'all could just divorce. You don't even got to live in the same house, but they're going to be coming around checking. And the Jamaicans was paying like they give him $5,000 and buy him a car. They came to me with that shit. I said, hell no. Because the girl that was running the agreement was somebody I graduated from high school with. She had a whole business set up where she was setting it up because she had a lot of connects over in Jamaica. She was setting it up saying, I got a girl here for you that'll marry you, that'll get you over here. She was doing it. She was clocking dollars. She was the middleman. She was between them and the person here in America. And they cracked down on that shit. They was getting real hip to that. Connecticut government was like, oh, hell no, the hell you won't. They took and deported so many fucking Jamaicans back in 88 and 89. Oh man, they deported loads of them motherfuckers up out of here. And said, you want to go with your husband? Go to Jamaica with him. I was like, yes. And to this day, they're still doing that. They're still doing that shit today. Ain't no way in the hell. I remember that wasn't the first time I was approached. Back in I want to say 2008, and I was already married. A chick asked me if I would marry, my next door neighbor asked me if I would marry. I said, I'm already married. And she said, no, I know, but it's just going to be fake. I'm like, no. They're going to give you a car. I said, bitch, I drive a Durango. Are you serious? You see that big ass truck in my lot? My truck, y'all know them damn black Durangos was big as fuck. And I had the special edition. My little short ass in a big ass Durango. I'm like, girl, I got a job, okay? And I'm driving a Durango. Are you serious? Get the fuck out of here. What I need a car for? I got a big ass Durango. I mean, my Durango seated 9 people comfortably. And I had that damn truck for 10 years. I loved my black Durango. Oh, I did not want to trade that sucker in, but it was time because I had it for like 10 years. So, yeah, they're still doing this shit. And I'm sorry. They're not us. They're not us. So when you hear that slave trade story, that's them. That is them. That's what England was doing, importing their asses. And I'm talking about Jamaica. So we're not them. And now I see why I don't relate with them. We are not culturally like them. Their food, I'm sorry, is nasty as fuck. And then they got a nerve mad at me because I said I love Spanish food. And I do. I love Puerto Rican food. I love the way Puerto Ricans make their rice. That's Caribbean. Yeah, but they're not Jamaicans. So what is on the Caribbean island? Puerto Rico. They're not Jamaicans. Totally different mixed breed. I like Spanish food. I do. I love that shit. People from Barbados cook totally different from people from Jamaica. People from Trinidad cook totally different from people from Jamaica. To me, and I'm sorry, Jamaican food looks like African food. I can't eat it. I know people from Barbados right now that I rock with that they get very offensive. From Barbados, St. Croix, where else? Virgin Islands, period. And Trinidad, they do not like to be mistaken for being Jamaican. So if I'm saying this and you got all 4 of them different islands saying the same shit, then something's up. It's them. And this is why I understand and see why that they don't click with our men in our community in the north. Not up this way part of north. Further up north, they do not get along. Jamaicans do not like Pookie and Ray Ray. And guess what? We don't like them either because we don't connect. There is nothing in this world that would make me connect with them motherfuckers. They are Africans and they are not our people. They are not. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. And they still do the same shit. They angry. They always had a grudge against our men. And that shit is deep. Deep. So I'm keeping it real. Those are your Africans. And it's them in this fucking community trying to drag us to be Africans. And they know that we're not. They know that we're not. But as mainland American Indians, mainland, they know if we fight for this whole so-called representation, they'll be included. But it ain't going down because I'm topping that shit at the door. They're not the slaveries from here. They're from the British Island. Go to the Queen for your reparations. Y'all niggas ain't gonna slip up in there acting like you us because you ain't us. And if you try it, your green card is getting pulled. You did not do slavery on the mainland. Now, I'm going to open my panel. And if anybody want to come up here and address me, that's cool. Don't come up here calling me no names because I will check you at the door. You're not my people, and I don't care. Don't come up here and show me no bullshit documents. You're the African. Don't fuck with Pookie and Ray Ray. That's why you don't like him, because you know he ain't the African. Now I get it. Now I see where the deep hatred is. You ain't Pookie. You know Pookie's the mainland Indian. You know it, and you hate him, and you always did, suckers. Gotcha. I'm going to open the panel, and you're welcome to come up here. Don't come up here trying to porn bomb me, because I got y'all asses. And man, I'm going to pin this shit to the top. I'm ready for you now, Q Butter channel. I'm ready for y'all. I'm ready for all y'all Jamaicans. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Right now. Pin this shit right to the top. Bring it. I'll wait. I dare you. Bring it. Bring it. I'll wait. I'ma wait.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic.
Bring it, boy.
Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So you don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then there's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. Hey, Bamu.
My sister from another mister.
Hey.
You're outdoing yourself trying to show up Judge Joe Brown. I'm just teasing. Did you get him back on? Because you probably
No,
didn't see my comment in the chat. I,
actually,
I
I spoke to him on Twitter, and he said, I want to come, but you're going to bring that old Dane guy back up there again. I said, I didn't bring him. Everybody's welcome. But, if he came back, I wouldn't let anybody on the panel who he didn't want to get beat up by Dane no more.
no, well, this is what I'm wanting to propose, okay? Because I know you can't discuss your case. And the case with Minister Louis X. Farrakhan. I would ask, especially if you can have him or some other legal expert, would it be a public service to explain the import of this case, particularly, and what is the defamation of calling the American Negro black or colored? In particular, with the Anti Defamation League allegedly as its mission statement to against all defamation. Now, I would really want to know from every attorney and an elected official, which most of them are lawyers. What do you think about something like that?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because, see, I don't even know who these lawyers are. Are they American lawyers or are they Jamaican lawyers?
Well, it doesn't matter their ethnicity; they're all registered to the British accredited registry, right?
And you know how
So,
Jamaicans do with the British accredited registry.
so if we would, and I'm saying this in all due honesty, not to attack, not to put them, on their hind legs. I'm saying seriously. If
Oh, they'll do that to
let,
us.
let, let, let,
I'm
let me put it
sorry.
this
I
way.
have no sympathy. They always wanted to exile my sons Pookie and take their place. I'm sorry. Hands down for them motherfuckers.
Oh
They
no, I have
always
no disagreement with you about that. I'm
they
talking
will
about.
go so far to set Pookie and Ray Ray up to be in jail so they can sell their ganja.
But don't
I'm
you think that's
serious.
what he was saying when Dane was trying to draw that out from him? Whether or not he thought he did this great honorable thing as being a public defender, you're defending the system. You're not defending your client. You work for the crown. All the
Yeah,
judges, all the prosecutors, all the lawyers. I don't care whether they're in practice or for private or public defense. They are there working for the system, not for the
facts.
people. Now, I don't want
Facts.
to. I'm not trying to call him out. I'm talking about just specifically on what I'm pointing out with this case. Because again, I say I appreciate we can't discuss yours. I think I've made very clear how I feel about Dane, and I certainly hope those Native Americans are arrogant in their ignorance to get before a judgment, God forbid, before a jury, because I'm sure Dane is waiting just like Brer Rabbit. Oh, please, please,
Heck
please
yeah.
don't throw me in that briar patch. Don't throw me in that
Fact.
briar patch. You know?
Fact. But he did the right thing. And he waiting. And I can't wait. I want to see what these $5 come up with. because he got him. He got him. And as
So
far as Judge
my point
Joe,
about the
I
defamation,
I
I
love
understand
JoJo
it's
Brown.
particular, absolutely, but I'm talking about the minister and this $5 billion lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. Whether he settles or not, and if he settles, it's about a bad. If he doesn't settle and wants to be before a bench in front of the jury and alleging that the Anti-Defamation League is lying by referencing anti-Semitism when no Ashkenazi Khazarian Jew of European ancestry is a Semite, or certainly not one of the descendants of the alleged
well,
12
I
tribes.
don't want to mention Jews on my channel. I don't, Ali Boomer. I
No,
don't.
I'm not talking about mentioning them. I'm talking about the issue of defamation. That's my point, Queen.
I
So we're
know.
talking about defamation. No. It just so happens this case has been brought by a very prominent alleged black man. Now, isn't that a problem on its face? The fallacy of Louis X. Farrakhan calls himself and other of us in our community black. Is that defamatory? That's my point.
I think it is very defamatory. And
So then
uh,
how are you going to sue an anti-defamation league organization who does say in its mission that it is against all defamation? Do we need to address what is defamatory to the American? And you know what I mean when I say the American.
yes, I do. Well,
Do you think Judge Joe Brown or someone of legal expertise would be willing to intelligently discuss this issue?
I
That's what
don't
I'm
think
asking.
so. If he did, I'd be very surprised. I would love to have that conversation with Judge Joe Brown. But, he is a boomer. And I do have respect for my elders when it's time to take, take a sit back. I just do. The man is older than my mother. And I love Joe Brown, Judge Joe Brown. I do. I would love for him to come back to my channel, and I wouldn't allow any I do want to have a decent conversation with him alone on my channel. And this time, I won't let anybody on the panel because he is very intelligent. And that he's, limited to what he could say because he comes out really and tell you, I'm not an attorney and I'm not here to represent you. So and being in the legal world, I have to respect that. There's some questions that we can ask him. And if he can answer them, he will, but I don't want to pull this senior man in anything. I don't want anything that's going to make his pressure go up. These are conversations that I don't like to have with boomers, especially in my mom's era, man, because I want him to rest. He has fun on Twitter. He's hilarious. And I just don't want to make the man's blood pressure go up. Now, someone younger that's an attorney, there's thousands of them that we can ask our age that are X generation attorneys. Can you think of some in the X generation? Because there's a whole
the
lot of them,
question is
male and females.
okay, I don't know that and I'm going to respect you, as I always do, for your legal expertise. But I would ask, do you think it's out of your reach to talk to Victor Blackwell? And not to pull his drawers down with that South Carolina African American Museum.
I can try
I
and reach
don't
out
know
to
for
him.
sure or not that he is a trained, licensed attorney, but many of them are.
I can reach out to him. That's all I could do.
Laura Coates, Laura Coates, right?
Oh, why does that?
She took Don Lemon's place.
Yeah. See, getting someone like them on our panels is kind of hard because they do work for the media. Oh, did I lose you, Bamu? Ali Bamu?
I'm listening.
Oh, you fell off.
Listening.
You fell off.
Yeah.
You fell off and
Yeah,
came back
I'm
on.
listening. I'm just wondering what you think about. You told me the name drop, so I dropped the name.
I would love to get Don Lemon on my channel. I really would. He's a great guy. And so is Miss Coates. But
she's retired. He is retiring.
Who? Don
Lemon. He's not gainfully employed currently. I know he's still suing CNN. Rumor is that the main headquarters has been vacated. CNN. Rumor
It's
is
been,
that they may have vacated their headquarters building.
well, all the threats they're getting. People threaten CNN and Fox News, especially if you're on Trump's side and you're holding a segment on the news. They're threatened. A lot of them are doing this shit from their homes. You can even look at their backgrounds. Some of their backgrounds are totally different. A lot of them they're working from remote locations. Some of them, for their own safety. Yeah.
Now, the only reason why I would name drop as I've done, not to say that you wouldn't have the opportunity, and I believe that you do, to reach out to someone of prominence, because the issue needs to be addressed in a way where it's understood and will be globally received, if you know what I'm saying. Not to say that some local registered attorney couldn't discuss it, but just like Louis X. Farrakhan
I would
filing
love to
this
get him.
lawsuit,
I would love to have Louis Farrakhan on my panel before he leaves this earth. I really would. And I
and
would
they are saying
I
that
would,
he is 90,
yeah.
at
And
least that's what's reported.
I would really, really love to have the honorable
Then my second question,
Minister
though, my queen,
Farrakhan, because
is could you reach out to a local chapter of the nation there in Connecticut,
I
a
can,
member or the
I
minister
can,
head of the
Minister
NOI?
Head, I could,
Yeah.
I can do that, and because I do know him, he's a nice man. I do know him, so I
Well,
can.
that's what my suggestions are, though I know they won't speak unless approved and authorized by Minister Farrakhan. But I would
Right.
suggest this should be discussed for the public at large and to understand the magnitude of it, if you get my drift.
Yes, but there would be there's a lot I could ask a local chapter minister, and I can reach out to him because I do know him very well. So why don't I do that? Because I would be so honored if I can get the honorable Minister Farrakhan. I would totally respect him, and I wouldn't ask him questions that I know I should not ask him, like anything pertaining to his lawsuit. I wouldn't be dumb enough to even ask him nothing like that. But I could ask him. I could ask him about defamation, but not his lawsuit. And I could ask him about things because he's went through a lot of errors. Minister Farrakhan, he went through a lot of errors. He went through the
But I
30s, the
sincerely think,
40s, the 50s. He
yeah,
went
but
through
see,
it
that's
all.
my whole point, Queen Mother. Again, I'm only framing this in a specific manner that is unique to the American. We are the only Negro, colored, Black population on the planet. Is that or is that not defamatory? That's my point. However you want to phrase
Yes, it
it
is.
as a topic or a question, do you get my point that I'm addressing?
I do, and it is defamatory. It says it in a nutshell. Yes, it's very defamatory.
And here's the second thing about not necessarily discussing the lawsuit itself. In the close to 787 pages of documentation, he used Noah's Webster's dictionary to define Semite, anti-Semite, and anti-Semitism, and did not, for whatever reason, fail to include the definition of American. Also, Malcolm Little is not mentioned once. So, these type of things are concerning to me personally.
Well,
I'm not saying this to cast aspersions to Minister or
and
to try
that's what I don't want to do. And if we really are praying for a chance for him to come on our panel, those are questions that I wouldn't pose to him. Honestly, for the simple fact that Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam. So you have to take that in consideration. We all hear what the issues were through the media and from our friends and former members of what actually happened, but who's telling the truth? We don't know. And I'm not going to, those are questions I wouldn't pose to him. I would not ask him about anything about Malcolm's death. I would not.
No, I don't bring it up for that because he's had that.
And that's
He's had
probably
that.
why he's not mentioned. You have to take into consideration, but Ali Bamu, that's probably why he's not mentioned in the lawsuit. And Malcolm's been gone for a very long time. Since 68, we're talking 55 years now. So come on, this defamation stuff is something in current times. So
Yeah,
if
but
I'm
again,
gonna
you've
if I'm
already
gonna have
informed
a
me that it's out of bounds to discuss the small hat community, which I understand.
right,
You've
and I'm not
also
going
made
to.
very clear of the parameters, and I get that. I'm only raising it for the consideration of stuff that does have to be addressed, not that you have to address it, but in the issue of defamation, slur, slander, and libel. I think I've been very clear in
You
why I
have
declare what American is and who Americans are. And
correct.
they are no other people but one unique people who are continuously defamed, denigrated, made to look as degenerates, oppressed, lynched, bombed. We would be going on a laundry list of historic facts. It's not opinions. Other
I
people don't
I
like
get
when we bring these things up because it makes them have to do one of two things: admit and acknowledge that they are either collaborators and conspirators themselves personally, or they are the descendants of the violators and the thieves, the murderers, and the criminals. And
okay,
so,
yeah.
of course, one lawsuit is not going to address that in its magnitude. But the issue of defamation, I'm very intrigued to see how we should, as a community, address it and speak on
Well,
it. You feel
the
what I'm
only
saying?
thing I could say, yeah, the best thing I could say to that, and I know you do a lot of researching at night, is just look into the defamation cases. Do a search, you know, and the district courts. Do a search online for cases of defamation in state
And
courts.
even at
Do a
that, you
search.
know what's going to happen. No matter what the result of the redress was, our unique situation cannot be compared to any claim that's filed by anyone, I would argue. And
Facts.
next,
This
what
facts. And hold up. You couldn't have said it no better. What did you just say? Our case can't be what?
it can't be compared
Correct
or
or
redressed or
well
redressed,
with anyone
not
else.
or with this system, I might argue, which goes back to the conversation that Dame was trying to tease out of Judge Joe Brown.
Well, I'm
Anyone
speaking
that's interacting,
at
anyone
the
that's interacting with this system. Go ahead.
I'm speaking about it can't be we can't be in consolidation with Jamaicans. We don't have the same history. We are not the same people. And I'm going to stand on that. We are not the same people and I don't care how you slice it. You want to know who the Africans are? They are. It's clear who Spain and France brought over here and where they put them. Numbers don't lie.
Okay,
Now,
now
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that these numbers are accurate, but it's still in the millions. It's still in the majority of where these Africans went. And they're still there today. Still there to this day. And I'm not changing it. Rarely do you see anything here that's they arrived in North America. Where though? Because Jamaica is North America. So this is why I say watch your tongue. Watch your tongue when you say North America, because there's many parts of North America. You got Canada, where that little Candyland more monkey Jamaican is at. You got Brazil. You got Caribbean islands. Watch your tongue when you talk about Africans being on the mainland when it's Indians that was a slave. You're not going to consolidate island boys with us. And I'm not fighting. This is why I'm not doing reparation shit. Because if you want reparations, you and Sheila Jackson Lee, who, by the way, is a Jamaican, take your ass to King Charles.
A Jamaican by way of Virginia and also a graduate of Yale, along with Henry Louis Skip Gates.
I don't care.
I got you on. I got you on what you're saying about the Caribbean.
She's Jamaican. She's Jamaican. She's Jamaican.
I got you. I got you, Queen Mother. I'm trying to ask you a question.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Stuff in there, and I'm not claiming.
I'm trying to ask you a question, Queen Mother.
Well, okay, go ahead, because I'm just burning right now.
I get that, and as the steam is coming through the phone. Okay, so may I ask you a question? And this is to include the Jabaris and the Tariq Nasheeds with this foundational Black.
Come on up here, Kevin. I'll be a dusty smoke mouth. You're mad because I'm putting you on blast. Let's go. Hit the damn link, boy. Bocce boy. African boy. Hit the link. Don't talk in the chat like a little girl.
So, Queen Mother. They on the one hand, but
you don't even deserve to be called a nigga.
May I please?
Go ahead, because I'm sticking to this topic. I'm hitting them today.
I am on the topic.
Bring it.
Did you let me ask the question?
Hold up.
The narrative.
I make sure that this is. I got somebody coming up. Oh, that's moving silence. All right. Let me just make sure. Put my safety zone up.
Yeah, throw back Iron Mountain up and the Mormon Church. Now,
me, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh no, I just gotta make sure.
It's Kevin. My name is Kevin from Jamaica. We don't like what you see. I don't like what you see.
Okay, so my question is, allegedly, the slave breaking process in the narrative of Pan-Boo-Booism, okay? It is required that the Caribbean islands is where the slave breaking process or buck breaking, Tariq Nasheed has actually made a film entitled that. That must be something proven. And then where are those people who are the Africans broken on the Caribbean island? And by the way, does the Caribbean island go all the way through Geechee land, across the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, up to Nova Scotia?
No. They go.
So then where do you stop with the island chain?
Just where they're at. Just look at all the islands. But matter of fact, let me just.
Well, like I said, there's many of them off South Carolina and Georgia.
Recents that came in on the boat with green cards.
Oh, now you see, not to say you moved the goalpost. Now you're talking about recent immigration. I'm talking about the issue of, are they slaves and were there a slave buck breaking process?
Well, by the time they got here from, coming from the islands, to do work, by that time they were indentured servants like they are now. They're still coming in with green cards and fighting to get green cards to come over here to get low wage jobs, because the hospitals know that they will work for 300 hours at $5 an hour.
I got you, my sister, but I don't think you're understanding why I'm asking what I'm asking. Is there or is there not a buck breaking process creating a chattel slave according to the narrative?
I don't know, Alibaba. Maybe I don't
understand. Well, that is what we've been led to believe by the antebellum chattel slavery of the American South, that Africans were transported through the West Indies and were broken and then transported to the mainland on these massive plantations. I'm not saying I agree with any of this. I'm talking
no, that's not that. That's false. That's false. That right there, I could tell you is false. Where they were in the islands is where they were when they were brought there to be slaves. Okay? All this shit about them coming in from the Caribbean islands and put on plantations in the South is bullshit, because we're the ones who were the big plantation owners, and A1 already put that shit out there. There were heavy
Now, what
Negro
I'm
slave
saying is
owners
that
in the South,
Tariq
and they were
Nasheed's,
our families. Fuck Tariq Nasheed. He got to make up his mind because he
I
probably
got
Jamaican
you, Queen.
or Trinidadian too.
That's
What I'm
Sam.
saying
That's
to you is
Sam's. That's Marcus
the
Sanders.
narrative that is fostered. Hold on a second, my good brother, because you do know he's made two movies, American Maroon and
Yeah, I
Buck
seen
Break.
this word.
And this is what I'm saying about the narrative that the majority of our family, of our people, of our loved ones are having reinforced. I did not say I agree with any of this. I am saying those people who are pushing all of this agenda, requesting reparations, claiming Pan Africanism, it is required for such a narrative to have some substance of fact. You see what I'm saying now?
Well, the majority of the people that are doing that are Jamaican. I keep telling you that. But you're not listening. The majority of them, you got to first figure out that, wait a minute, who are these people? And I already tried to explain that as little as I can. They're not us. They want reparations, go to King Charles. You're not getting them in America.
Can you blow that picture up?
The Americans are on the top. The mainland Indians are on the top. All the rest is foreign. Those are your Africans down below. And we're not. That's the problem, because we won't consolidate with them. They don't like mainland Indians.
Yep.
And I agree with you 100%, Queen Mother. I'm
So
not
I don't care about
disagreeing
Tariq
with
Nasheed's
what you said.
story. I don't even want to talk about Tariq Nasheed. This is about Jamaicans. I'm not being mean to you, Ali Bamu, but I'm sticking where I'm sticking because I don't care about that story.
Yeah. Busta
What I
Rhymes
care
talk about
about
you ain't got
is
no
letting my
culture.
people know that these fucking Jamaicans ain't our
Busta
people.
Rhymes.
And I'm not going, I don't
Yeah,
care
Busta.
about, I don't care about all this other shit.
Yeah.
These niggas over here faking. Can you mute your mic? These niggas over here faking like they us, and they're not. We don't dance like them. We don't do anything like them. Nothing. They are the Africans that you hear about in America. Bottom line. And it wasn't brought in the South and slapped out there as slaves. Their asses was right where they went. Jamaica, Barbados, Brazil. I gave you the locations. And this is what I'm sticking to. This is my fight. This is what my fight is. No, your ass went to the Caribbean. You did not come on the mainland. Ben Franklin and them wasn't letting their asses on the mainland. You add up all them damn numbers. There's your damn 12 million slaves. You want reparations? Go to your damn king and queen. Y'all niggas still got green cards. Talk about you want reparations. And you still got green cards. Yo. Trump better get in office and deport these fools. They still walking around here with green cards. So I'm not, and this is not directed at you, Ali Bamu, at all. At all. I'm just trying to get my brothers in YouTube to wake up. So y'all niggas that's running around here trying to act like you're a Negro from the mainland when you know you Jamaican. You've been Jamaicanized and you know how to talk like us. But I know your ass. Don't let me pull out your goddamn ship schedule from Jamaica. My grandmother didn't even talk about, nobody in my family ever even went to Jamaica. Me either. We never, when I say my family didn't even fucking leave the mainland, we didn't leave the mainland. My sister probably went to Barbados or Puerto Rico, but nah, not nobody else in the family. My family, and I got a huge ass family. None of us never went to the Caribbean islands. For what the fuck we need over there? Or been to Africa. I don't even get a phone call from nobody from Africa.
You mean Stella didn't get her groove back?
Now you talking about the white girls. These niggas know what they do when they come over here. They go in our hood communities and they go and uplift some 60-pound overweight, 100, 200-pound chick that thinks she could wear a thong and done raised up her motherfucking confidence. It is not cute being overweight. I weigh 200 pounds, but you know what? I'm fun size. I'm fun size. My shit ain't hanging. Meat don't hang off of me. I'm fun size. Matter of fact, I'm under 200 now. Under 200 pounds now. These niggas come over here and they be real nice, and they always get the low self-esteem sister, in which Pookie and Ray Ray really treats really bad. And they have sex with them. And then they sucker them to marry him. So that then after that 5 years, they're bringing their damn Jamaican family over to America after the 5 years is up.
That's
and they do that
facts.
repeatedly. The men do it too. A lot of brothers came out of prison and hook up and marry these Jamaican girls so they can get over here because they need re-up money. 5Gs will help Pookie when he get out of prison because he get to go flip that money. So they where else they gonna go? I see this shit for years, and it's still going on today. A lot of these chicks that marry these Jamaican dudes over here, they asses ain't going to the family cookout. The wife is. They staying in the hoods. Jamaican boy come by there, give him $150, and they happy. They so happy. Here's $150, but you can't come to the family cookout. My wife and kids gonna be there. Me see you at the club tonight. How the fuck? What? That's low self-esteem. That's the shit that go on. These dudes be giving these girls in our hoods fake names, these Jamaican dudes. And the girl get pregnant by him because they think they're going to hold the Jamaican dude down. And they give him they name their baby after him. And that ain't even the Jamaican dude's real name. They can tell that my name is Dexter St. Patrick. Girl in the hood, low self-esteem. Oh, yeah, little Dexter. That's not the Jamaican dude's real name. He done fucked you over. And then they find out, I thought that was his. No, he gave you a fake name so his wife can't connect who you are. When you in the club talking about Dexter, his wife don't know you talking about her husband. That's how they play sisters in the hood. They've been doing it for years and they still do it just to get a green card. If Jamaica's so beautiful and the houses are so put up beautiful, why the fuck y'all motherfuckers won't stay in Jamaica? Why are you on the mainland? Go back to Jamaica where you came from. Since Jamaica's so beautiful and America, it sucks. Why you over here? Why you over on the mainland if America sucks? Bye. Why you got a green card? Why did you pay a 5 G's, and buy a hood sister a car to get your ass over here if America's so horrible and Jamaica so beautiful? Why are you here? And now your little musty ass is here trying to say we should connect together. No, we shouldn't. You're African. Go to Africa and connect to them because that's where you came from. 55 million went to Africa. Now take your ass to Africa and go get your money. Biden gave it to him. when Hillary Clinton was dancing around with these so-called Africans, okay? Americans, they was real Africans from Africa. She wasn't dancing with Shaquisha and Shakita. She was dancing with Jamaican girls and real Africans from Africa in the news. And they were so blind that they couldn't even see that those was real Africans. Fuck out of here. Don't play with me. What's up, Drastic Indigo?
How you doing, Sister Betsy? All praise be to Allah. Yeah, you know what's crazy? The subject that you're talking about, it kind of has me thinking. Yeah, how would you be able to tell who is who, who's from the mainland, and who's descendants from Jamaica? We're going to be pretty much just you know same thing like we did with everybody else, integrating with them when it comes to business and relationships and marriage. It's the same thing with the islanders. How will we, to the point, be able to tell who's really bloodline is from the mainland of North America? It's gonna be to the point. It's gonna be pretty hard to kind of tell nowadays.
No, it
So
ain't. No, it ain't.
how is that possible? No, I'm just asking. How is that?
Because when you're
How
doing their
would you be able to tell?
genealogy, their parents got green cards, yo. A lot of them that's born here, parents came here in like the 80s.
Mm. So is it to the point where we have to start asking
I
like,
don't
hey,
care if
what's
they're
your
born.
family back?
I don't care if they're born here or not. Your lineage of slavery is Jamaica, boy, not mainland. Don't play with me. I'm genealogy, baby. I done did a lot of people's genealogy where their records took them back to Jamaica. Oh, that's where you did your slavery. Why are you over here claiming reparations from the United 50 States? Boy, bring your ass to court for reparations because I'm showing your genealogy records, boy. Your slavery took place in Jamaica. The 50 states ain't got shit to do with your slavery in Jamaica. You begged the British to take you there. So get your ass up out of here. Next.
That's real. There's definitely much respect and love for that, Miss Betsy. So what is it that we need to do to really try to make sure we? I don't know, because it's to the point. I was thinking about this. It's pretty much North American Indians with us, of course, against everybody. But you know the term where you see people having shirts on and slogans where it says Detroit versus
Hell
everybody.
no, I ain't got no passport, Kevin. Never had a passport. And guess what? Hold up, bro. I'm sorry. Let me put this up here. I don't have a passport. And my parents, my grandparents, all the way back to 1837, ain't never went through no naturalization process. Never. We mainland Indians in North America did not have to go through the naturalization process. You did.
Drop a bomb on them.
I can walk on the mainland freely with my head up. My ancestors did not go through a naturalization process. You have to. Get your ass out of here, punk. Don't step on the chat. Jump up on the panel like you do on Q Butter channel, nigga. Let's go. But wait. That's right. You don't deserve that name, monkey man, because all y'all believe you came from monkeys. Next. Next. Go ahead, D.I. I'm sorry. I just got to address because these pan boo boos in the chat room and they getting checked at the door. See, they too scary to come up on the panel.
Oh, you good? You good? Yeah, that's what they do. They try to claim our heritage, our culture, our music, our food, but don't know a damn thing when it comes to cookouts or soul food or any of that shit. They got their own shit, just like we got our own shit.
Yeah, this idiot last night had a nerve to say flour came from Africa. Yo, I'm done. He said flour because my granny made homemade biscuits and I ate soup, and I've never really been a meat person. I'm not a vegetarian, facts, but I do eat chicken. But it depends on what part of the chicken I eat. I break out real bad with hives, so I have to be careful. And he gonna have a nerve to say that flour came from Africa. Boy, Willie was like, he was half asleep because I wake up when I go to sleep early. Willie said, corn, baby. No, corn. He was talking in his sleep. It came from corn.
Just like for
Uh,
example, do they even know anything about cornbread, which is Indian bread?
oh, he was talking about you eat pancakes and Jemima. This is why I tell you, they ain't us. You damn right I eat pancakes. And she ain't Jamaican. And neither is the Wheat Tina man.
Don't forget about cream of wheat.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Cream of wheat, baby. All that stuff. I ain't thinking about Shay's Jamaican ass. Because I think see when people like him, they Jamaican. That's why they fighting so damn hard. Because they know. You ain't mixing in with us. And you think the United States government don't know who your dumb ass is? When it comes to them reparations, they know they didn't enslave you in the 50 states, new boy. You came over here as volunteer indigent servants by way of green cards, like you're doing now. You think United States, the 50 states, don't got your records of your grandmother's green card? Your naturalization process, you little funny looking dudes? Get your ass out of here. That's why you ain't getting them. And as soon as Tariq wake up and see he got a bunch of fucking Jamaicans in his FBA shit, then he'll really know he ain't going nowhere with FBA reps. And he need to get the story right. Because he still think African. Get your ass out of here. When he
Yeah,
wake up and
even though
find out that he got a bunch of Jamaicans running around there in his audience. And a lot of them ain't even on the mainland when he tunes in live. They all in different parts of the Americas. And he don't even know that shit. He gonna wake up, he gonna get a reality check. They all getting checked by the door. Just like Chief Holiday said, Sister Betty, stick to them goddamn genealogy records. That's what you do. You damn right. I will find your green card and post that shit. I'll find your dead grandmother's green card and post that shit. Don't play with me. So when you walk in there with them reparations, I'm throwing all them damn green cards on the table or the judge and say, yo, I'm not playing with y'all. Bring it. Bring it, HOK. Bring it, Q Butter panel members. You don't think when these niggas get ready to think they going for reparations, you don't think the customs department is going to be down there sitting at the motherfucking desk holding your granny's green card and all the fingerprint specialists who let y'all asses in here ain't gonna be sitting at the table where y'all look stupid as hell. Cause you right. If you over here, you are the real African Jamaicans, but you didn't do slavery on the mainland, boys.
Hey, Ben. Oh,
Keep fucking with me. Y'all got it.
hey, Sister Beth. It's just crazy how, because I had an argument with someone with a sister. It was when that was talking a specific topic, and I guess whoever this individual must have got offended, and she came on there and was like, "Why don't we da 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 da?" And I had to come. I went on there to try to correct her on why we should. And she was like, I got Jamaican friends, but to be honest with you, she was probably Jamaican too. Because why would you fight so hard for them if you're not Jamaican? I mean, we was talking about indigenous problems, what we need to do to get ourselves. It seemed like they want to attach themselves to our struggle when they ain't got nothing to do with it. It's like, and why would you get offended on what we need to do for ourselves? It's like you ain't got nothing to do with it. But and I'm gonna hit mine. It was crazy.
But that's the
Yo,
definition of tether. And the definition of tether is leeching. And leeching is parasitic. And the behavior cannot be addressed. It is toxic. A parasite kills the host until they die. And then they move on to sucking off the next host.
this shit is simple as 1, 2, 3. Your grandmother got a green card. You're not getting reparations from the 50 states. I don't care if you were born here. That don't put you on the mainland. Your slavery, if your great great granny had to have green cards to get in this bitch, you ain't getting reparations. You getting sent right back to King Charles. You're a British island subject. And as soon as Tariq tell everybody to take their mask off, they better dingle them damn green cards. And that's when he's going to be very disappointed. Them ain't no foundational black people. Not with all our jazz players from here.
I never really
See,
gotten
see,
foundational
Queen
black
Mother,
America.
He got to check at the door and say, yo, do your third great granny got a green card? And if they do, yo, y'all in trouble. Because your slavery didn't take place in the mainland 50 states. It took place with the queen. Remember, if you had to have a green card to get over here, you can't claim reparations on in the 50 states. You can't. Even if you was born in the 70s here, you cannot claim reparations in the 50 states. Slavery was over in 1865, and your ass needed a green card to get in here. I'm done. Because if you don't dingle them green cards at the table when they're doing their research study, because remember, HR 40 is just a study. And I'll be mailing copies of green cards to Mr. Cory Booker so he can say, oops, there's a problem here. We got to make sure that these are mainland slaves. All them fucking green cards is coming out. I'm not playing with y'all punks. How dare them be sitting over on Q Butters channels talking about reparations from who? You wasn't no slave in the Americas. Not on the mainland.
can
When
we
was
just
when
talk?
was slavery, Ali Bamu? When was slavery?
Um, see, this is the thing about this narrative. So when we're going to argue with two different timelines, you have pre Jamestown, and that's from 1492 to 1606. Then you
All
have
right, stop
Jamestown
right
in
there. Stop right
1607.
there.
Go
Stop
go
right
ahead.
there. You're talking about the enslavement of the Indians on their own land.
I'm not disagreeing with whatever you're
All
saying,
right,
Queen Mother.
next
I'm
years.
trying
Let's
to
go.
answer the question. I'm trying
All
to
right,
answer the question.
that's one that time. Next period.
So then from 1607 to 1865, what are we suggesting is the type of enslavement happened during that British rule?
They were taking their asses up here out of here. Those was Pequots being
Okay,
taken
so
out of
then
here
we
with the
have to show
British.
examples, and it's not just Pequot. There would be a number of other. Also, how about the Arawaks and the Tainos that were actually on the island chain? Isn't that the same as what you just said? As far as prior to
Well, they were
Jamestown,
already
there was
there.
Indian. There were
They
Indian
were they were
slavery and enslavement.
they were already there a lot. Even when they brought the Pequots out to Barbados, there were already Tainos there.
Yep, I get
Already
that.
there.
But you understand what I'm pointing out. I'm talking about for the people who are poorly educated that are being misled by ADOS and FBA. Their narrative is Kunta Kinte, period, stretched over everybody. You see what I'm saying? So the
Squash this
first thing that has
yourself.
to be addressed is what is the African slavery and who is that African slave?
Exactly. The only slaves, as I showed you, and as what's recorded during the Kuta Kinte story time that it supposedly had taken place, was when they took them and brought them to the British islands from Africa, not the
But now at
mainland.
the same time they did that for another example. That's why I said, do you include Nova Scotia? Because the exact same thing was done in Nova Scotia and the island chains off of your doorstep.
They
And I
was
don't know
brought
what the
from here to Nova Scotia. Those was Pequots. They was brought from here to Nova Scotia.
So the only point that I'm making, and I am trying to answer your question, Queen Mother. I'm not being evasive. I am saying when the term like slavery that is generic, it must be broken down and addressed. Timeline, who's the slave, what population, and they were transported by who. Now, I don't know if you're going to do this eventually, but I'm going to keep suggesting finding out the history of Rhode Island and the majority of slave ship captains allegedly being produced by that small Tylee colony, and then do the forensics that comes from, well, if there was a slave ship captain, there had to be someone who hired him, right?
Yeah,
And
but
obviously, there should be a ship manifest
again, well,
attached to that
they got the
slave
Book
ship
of
captain.
Negro. They got the Book of Negroes. They were shipping them back and forth from Jamaica to Nova Scotia. The same shit. And then the Indians that they took from here and brought to Nova Scotia.
And how
And
do
then
you
they
want
got
to
them out of
include
Nova
Ireland?
Scotia and said they was taking all the damn jobs. So they took them out of Nova Scotia and brought their ass to England, Jamaica.
That
I got
was
the
my
whole
next question,
story.
Queen Mother. How do you include Ireland, Scotland, and Wales? Because I
Well,
do think that also has to be a part of it.
as the slaves. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, you
well,
know
not
they're
only
mixed.
that,
You know they're mixed
go
in
ahead.
there. You know they're mixed in there. You know they mixed in there. We already know what that's all about. They was
But what I'm
fighting to
saying
be
is that's
free.
not addressed in the conversation.
Oh,
We know it. You know it.
not
We're
now because
knowledgeable over in this
well,
community.
not now because
But,
we're talking about Jamaicans right now. We're talking strictly
right,
about
but I'm
Jamaicans.
saying the Jamaican population, over half of it has been infused with Ireland and Scottish roots as well.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't care. All I'm talking about is the motherfuckers over on Q. I'm talking about the motherfuckers over on Q Buddy channel. I'm talking
Okay,
about
and
them,
I get you've been
Jamaican,
triggered by them,
Garfield,
but
and
I'm
all them
trying to be on the
motherfuckers.
same page with you. Oh,
They Garfield and all them motherfuckers in the house. Okay, all of them. They
well,
are the
particularly
Africans
Garfield.
brought to
Garfield is
Jamaica.
Jamaican, correct? Now I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
all
about
of them
Cuba.
Jamaican. You can't tell.
Well, I don't know about Cuba, but anyhow, my next
Well,
question I
he's
wanted to ask
suspicious.
you.
He looked like he is. I mean, he had a suit on, and I mean, I mean, we got our little picture here,
I say he's
and
more like
we wear
polite,
suits like the
but
dude
for me,
sitting down there on the phone with the glasses, or It was kind of like that. It was kind of wrinkly too. So yeah, I'm putting them in Africa and Jamaican
Okay.
areas. We're gonna keep it real. He had on a suit with the tie open, falling off, and it looks like real African to me in Jamaica. So he could be that too.
Oh,
A lot of
Usher
The,
Jamaican.
motherfuckers.
the, ne-
A lot
the
of
next
motherfuckers.
question I
Yeah,
was going
Usher
to ask you.
Jamaican. Look at this suit. Come on. What Pookie and Ray Ray is going to wear a sky blue blazer? Get out of here. Pookie and Ray Ray, even when they go to funerals,
Looks a
they
lot
don't
like
dress like that.
Django. It looks like Django in his Lord Fauntleroy costume, if you remember in the movie. But anyway, um, the prominent people like, and I just wanted to name drop just for a moment here. Colin Powell, Sidney Poitier, including Harry Belafonte, who I very much admired as a fierce liberation fighter. But these individuals that have benefited from the Negro population on the mainland, a la, Poitier, Belafonte, Colin Powell, you know, how do we address that when these same people want to talk about, we're the same, kinfolk,
Well, we
skinfolk.
just gotta let them know, yo, anybody in your family got a green card? That's when they about that's that, that's when you're gonna hear crickets. Cause see, we could play like you us, and we'll ride along with you like you us. But motherfucker, when we walk in, all I'm saying is, fine, you want to make and seem like you're gonna get reparations. You want to play like us, but we walk in that motherfucking courtroom. Green cards just better be pulled out. Pull out the green cards, because that's what I'm gonna say. Pull them out, because if you don't pull them out, I'm pulling them out. That's when the motherfuckers gonna have to scatter like roaches. I'm not playing with these niggas. Matter of fact, I said you don't deserve that title, because this is a real definition of a nigga speaking right now. Because you ain't me and I ain't you. I ain't never seen a green card in my life, in my family. And we don't need them. We didn't need them. For what? We mainland aboriginals. We ain't come here. We been here.
What is a foundational black
If your
American?
grandmother needed a green card to get here, Sister Beffy gonna pull it out for you. That's public information, bitch. I ain't on
What
cold
is a
with them, and I ain't being on cold with them.
What is a
Can
foundational
we
black
address naturalization?
You're gonna have to go ask Tariq Nasheed that question.
Because I just never knew what the hell that meant, and it
I
just
don't
drives me
know.
crazy. So,
I don't know. You gotta go ask Tariq.
May I, Queen Mother?
Oh, go right
Even
ahead.
if repeating what he says out of his mouth, it's supposedly, brother, summed up with the word lineage. Now, the argument that keeps being clouded is people supposedly tracing themselves to a slave ancestor. Is that what you're asking, bro?
yeah, because I just never knew what the hell that was, like a foundational black. Why are we getting so many damn titles and he ain't making things no better doing that?
Let's put black for a second to the side because, in this community, that's flag on the play. But now, foundational, he thinks he's slick. He did a trademark move. You understand that, right?
Right.
He's being very loose with the language by trying to argue if your lineage traces you to the, what do they call it? The killing fields. You're familiar with Professor Black True or Jason Black. All these people that are pushing and calling themselves the new black media, again, flag on the play. They are telling you you are black. And what is the condition of your mentality if you are black? And what is blackness? From your perspective.
To me, black means nothing. It means nothing. It's not even a people. It's just means nothing. It's like just like anybody else.
Would you suggest the proof is in the pudding that black people get less than nothing?
Yeah.
So then that would be evidence that you're living a black existence. You shouldn't expect nothing. You should certainly expect to be inferior to something considered white. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
So you see how this is convoluted and a problem? Because for you to be black, then someone must be white, right? And I'm
Yep.
not suggesting that you agree that white supremacy exists. I argue that it doesn't. But because it exists in the mind of people, that makes it real, doesn't it? So when you think yourself black, you think someone else is white, and you are then adjusting your mentality, and you are also acquiescing, and I would argue volunteering to be treated black by so-called whites in and around you. Would you say? What would you say about that?
It's kind of like you put yourself in a. It's kind of like a still a victim mentality, like a victimhood mentality.
So, do you see what this brother is trying to suggest by claiming your lineage must prove yourself to be here in, as Queen Mother said, mainland America before the antebellum South and the Civil War? He doesn't even address the Indian Removal Act because to address anything referencing Indian would take him away from his black connotation. You see? And what's the
So
foundation that you think he's implying that black
he
Americans built?
he's it sounds like he's trying to say, hey, through all the bullshit we've been through, blah blah blah, through all the depression and the slavery, we built America through our bare hands, all that bullshit. That's basically what it kind of sounds like to me.
So that is a victim mentality as an agenda, right?
Exactly.
So to me, and again, I'm not trying to tell you to think a certain way. I'm trying to answer your question, but from a perspective that I hold. Okay. The American first label inaccurate of the population of people that were encountered by all other foreigners were the copper colored people who were the aboriginal inhabitants of North America. Then, in the same definition of American, they admitted the European would steal that identity. You're aware of that definition, right?
Yep.
And nowhere do they mention Africans, Asians, Hispanics, or natives. Now, this is in 1828 with Noah Webster. I'm quite certain Hispanics, who we call Hispanics,
I
are
think Lex
Spaniards
might
and
be Jamaican
Portuguese.
too.
Well, but by 1828, Spaniards and Portuguese had been on this soil and interacting with us for almost 400 years.
Right.
But
Right?
anyway, let me cut in here so I could address this whip of Shay's son, who always get his Jamaican ass whipped. Here we go. History of the certificate, and watch how I close it out at the end. History of the Certificate of Naturalization, 1790 to 1956. The demand, and listen, no matter what you hear, but watch how I close this shit out. The demand for proof of citizenship resulted in the creation of certificates of naturalization during the old law period of the United States naturalization history, March 26, 1790 to September 26, 1906. Government efforts to end naturalization fraud and ensure documentation of all naturalized citizens motivated the evolution of certificates throughout the certificate file, the C file period, September 27th, 1906 to March 31st, 1956. Old law period, March 26th, 1790 to September 26th, 1906. Now listen, y'all. During the old law period, there was no federal oversight for the issuance of certificates of naturalization. Federal now, we're talking. Early naturalization laws allowed any court of record, and we're talking at the municipal, county, state, or federal, to grant United States citizenship and did not even require courts to issue certificates. Without statutory instruction or administrative oversight, certificates of naturalization issued prior to September 27, 1906 varied in size, shape, and design based on the clerk of court's preference. The certificate's contents also varied between courts, with many omitting biographical information. Many early certificates of naturalization were simply certified copies of the court's orders conferring United States citizenship. By the mid 19th century, naturalization courts often provided more elaborate pre-printed documents, but the quality and appearance of certificates of naturalization continued to vary significantly. Early certificates did not include important biographical information or security features. Without centralized content control, naturalization records often contain little more than the applicant's name, the names of witnesses, and the country to which they renounced allegiance. Many courts' certificates did not include a description of the person naturalized and were consequently easily transferable. The variation and absence of biometric information and security features made authenticating certificates of naturalization difficult, facilitating fraud. Additionally, many certificates omitted names of family members who derived United States citizenship from the primary subject's naturalization. Due to this, a large number of legitimate citizens are unnamed in the court records documenting their naturalization. Courts, courts did not keep copies of old law certificates of naturalization as insurance against loss of the original certificate by the naturalized citizen and or destruction of the naturalization's court's records. The lack of provision for backup copies of naturalization records left both citizens and the government vulnerable to regional disasters which destroyed local court records. For example, the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and subsequent fire destroyed the city's courthouses and homes. Many naturalized citizens' proof of citizenship burned, putting their rights as citizens in jeopardy, and the federal government faced many false claims to the United States citizenship from persons claiming their naturalization prior to the catastrophe. By the 1800s, the effect of courts individually administering naturalization laws was evident in large numbers of naturalization fraud cases across the nation. The lack of uniformity in courts' procedures and record keeping practices were factors in the problem. So Congress took steps to exert more control over the content, format, and issuance of certificates of naturalization. Certificate file, the C file period, from September 27, 1906 to March 31st, 1956. Congress passed the Basic Naturalization Act of 1906 to correct deficiencies in law certificates of naturalization and many other problems with early naturalization systems. The law took effect September 27, 06, founding the Federal Naturalization Service, inaugurating the certificate file period, and transforming naturalization record keeping. The Basic Naturalization Act was Congress' first real attempt at federal supervision of naturalization. It also marked the first time that the administration of the certificate of naturalization was specified by federal law, beginning 9/27/06, federal laws and regulations enforced by an administrative oversight agency with stringent penalties for violations required that all naturalization courts nationwide issue a certificate of naturalization to every naturalized person and name all members of the primary subject's family who derive citizenship from the nationalization. Create certificates of naturalization using standard forms distributed by Naturalization Service, which controlled the content, format, and quality of the records. Submit a duplicate copy of every certificate of naturalization to the Naturalization Service for filing in a certificate file, and only issue replacement or duplicate certificates with approval of the Naturalization Service. These innovations achieve federal supervision of the court's naturalization activities. Standard forms impose uniformity on certificates of naturalization issued on or after 9/27/06, and collection of duplicates ensured a backup copy of certificates existed as protection against the loss of personal copies and or court records. Security features and uniform rules for issuing and replacing certificates also allow the government to control, authenticate, and track certificates in circulation, increasing the record's reliability as proof of identity and naturalization. Every person naturalized between 9/27/06 and March 31/56 has a certificate file with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, the USCIS, successor of the Immigration and Naturalization Service, the INS, containing a copy of their certificate of naturalization. When the Naturalization Service received the duplicate copy of a certificate of naturalization, it opened a unique C file to hold the new citizen's naturalization records. The Naturalization Service distributed three versions of its standard form certificate of naturalization during the certificate file period 1906 to 1956. Now, let me tell your little ass something right here, Mr. Shay's son, Jamaican boy. Let me just turn this on. Let me teach you a little something. The only ones claiming reparations is the Jamaican boys of today. We don't need to go back that far to get their grandma's naturalization record. We don't. Because it's you current Jamaicans claiming this. Born in the 60s, yo. You got an accent, you're fucked. Especially with Sister Bethy. Come on, come boy, come boy. Come boy. We don't even need to go back to 1790. Even if those records was lost, boy. All I need is your grannies with the accent. And we're going to bring her in court and say, how you get an accent on the mainland? You sound real British, lady. Come, baby. Come, baby. You coming in the courthouse? You better hurry up and sound like an American. Because all y'all got accents. Even y'all born when I was born. Come, bumbleclot. Let's go. I don't need to go back to 1908. I could just go to 1966. Your grandmother was born before me, and I bet you she got a naturalization record, especially if she got an accent. Don't play with me, boy. Y'all got it.
Sister Bethy, from what I'm hearing that you read, I think you know where I'm going with this. For 116 years, what courts were there dispersing citizenship?
These are the local courts and the municipalities. But these are the local courts and the municipalities. Because we do
And they
have them.
themselves said in the record keeping it was not a federal issue, right?
At that
So
time,
this
no, it wasn't.
citizenship was state by state, the former colonies or the ratified states until the
Correct.
lower 48. I'm just going to stick with the lower 48. Hawaii and Alaska have a unique situation. So until the turn of the 20th century, willy nilly, hither and thither. I mean, they even still had states printing their own money or currency, right? During the same time period. And they're passing out naturalization cards and status like bubblegum. But I am still asking the questions that I will continue to ask. Who has proven themselves not to be an alien enemy to the only American?
Nobody.
Now, 1906, a bare half century, 1906 to 1956, Dwight David Eisenhower was the president. Isn't there alleged that he may have Negroid ancestry? Dwight David Eisenhower.
They probably can. But the point of this matter, for the sake of Jamaicans trying to claim representation within the 50 states, look, we a lot of their grandmothers was born in the 50s and they got accents. And guess what? They got green
Which
cards.
mean they traveled to the mainland. They did not get transported. There is no cargo. There is no slave manifest.
Correct.
There is no slave status. Is that? I think I'm hearing
Correct.
what you said.
That's exactly what I'm saying. A lot of their
And that
parents
would be argued for
some of
anybody.
them just came last
after-
week.
Well, again, for anyone in the 20th century, that's the year 1900.
Facts.
Cannot.
We don't
get
even got to
past
go
that
back
barrier.
that far.
I got you. I got you. I'm talking about the confusion for the slow bus individuals and those who seem to be mentally challenged. You have to get past 1865. And even then, you can't prove that you are the descendant of a so called slave.
In the 50 states.
Yeah, well, because now we're going to get into the issue that has to be clarified. What is a slave? What is an indentured servant? What is an apprentice? Because, even in the 1750s, I'm seeing prior to that, Benjamin Franklin was an apprentice, was he not? And alleged to his own biography, he was an apprentice to his own brother. He was enslaved by his sibling.
Facts.
I believe that's what Chief Holiday teaches us. A family is a house of servants, right?
Facts. Facts. So, y'all with these YouTube channels, I don't care if you rock with these boys. That's your business. But when it comes to business and legal business and trying to swoop off my tax dollars, I ain't fucking having it. Your grandmother got a green card. Because all these Negroes, they don't deserve that identity. All these Jamaicans, Garfield and all of them, and he still got his accent. He probably came here when he was a little boy, like all the rest of them I grew up with.
Now, could you clear up for me, because I'm seemingly mentally challenged, like many of these other folks are. Explain to me how Africanness attributes slavery to any individual.
Because they're the ones who came on the slave ships from Africa to Jamaica. That's why. They're the Africans. It ain't Pookie and Ray Ray. So I don't care about y'all that got these YouTube. Well, my boy Jamaica. I don't give a fuck. This is money. This is tax dollars. Now the borders is open. Every fucking body walking up in this piece. This is why I'm hard on HR 40 for this very reason. Because I know they green cards. And you see them in their little pictures. I seen a lot of my girlfriends that's Jamaican in their little green card pictures when they got here, when they was little. And they got them hair braided up like Miss Seeley when she was little and had them little funny boots on. I think they was dressed like that. In their little pictures they took when they was little, back in the 60s and 70s. And they had them 4 little box braids, just like Seeley had when she was little. That's how they look when they came over here. And then you're going to sit up here and try to bash the mainland, but yet your ass is begging for somebody to marry you so you can get over here. I should make your asses swim back to Jamaica.
Okay. I was staying on the conversation of the Caribbean islands. The parallel of the 50th anniversary for the hip hop, isn't that exactly what's being shown in full display? Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, a Jamaican and a Puerto Rican, trying to steal the legacy and the culture of the American Negro.
Well, all I'm saying is they second great grannies got green cards and they still got accents. I don't give a fuck. If they fight for reparations, even though they rich, sorry, you can't get it, bro. Your slavery that your granny did was not in the 50 states. Take your ass back to Jamaica. I'm not playing with you. Y'all boys want to real get it bit. Oh, now on Q Butter channel tonight. Now you can really talk. Now, this is why they don't like me. Because now I'm giving you a reason to dislike me. I'm giving you a reason. I know how to bust that ass wide open. Don't play with me and don't insult my intelligence. Anybody else got closing statements? I'm off this bitch. I want y'all to watch the debate with who, let me see, who is it? Hawk School and I think it's
Not a coincidence.
yeah, not a coincidence. You know he
It
gonna
is
bust
not a
that
Hawk's
ass.
gonna smoke him. Hawk is gonna smoke him. But
Watch that.
yeah.
It's going down. It's going down.
It'll be not a coincidence to not a question.
Nah, YK, it's not. I'm doing real shit. I ain't got time to debate on YouTube. I'm into busting people's ass and showing real public information shit. Sorry, YK. I like watching the
He
debates,
lost the
and
truth. What are you talking about?
I like watching debates at night when I'm sitting in the room, laying in the room with Willie in bed, so I can laugh. And and they're great debates. They really are. I'm not saying YK the Truth don't have intelligence because he's a very intelligent brother, but he just got smoked. Everybody can't do it. You know, he came out with his information, and I learned a lot from him, and I learned a whole lot from Truth. Truth been doing this for a minute, man, and Truth do a lot of studying. So I can't wait to watch this debate. And Hawk School ain't no fucking joke. He just stay quiet sometimes and sit back. He's an observer. He really is. He's more of an observer. Hawk School.
High flying,
But he's a
30,000
beast.
feet.
Yeah, he's a beast. He really is. I remember years ago, we used to watch him all the time. He used to come on all the time. And then he left for like, 2 years or something. And I typed a message in his chat room. This was like, 4 years ago. And I said, you should come back. Your show is great. And then he responded. I was so shocked. I thought he was really literally gone from YouTube. And I didn't know him, but me and Willie used to watch him all the time. He used to always put him on. And he responded, said, I'll be back soon. I'll be back. And he really did came back. He really came back. I think the first time I saw him back, he jumped up on App Powers panel. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Isn't that the hard guy? I told Willie, I said, Willie, the hard guy. That's what I call it. I didn't know what to call him. He's on App Powers channel. He's back. And we was like, word? I was like, yes. So he's very observant man. He stays quiet for a long time because he's an observer. And you got people that are just observant and they just come out and smoke your ass. That's what he's like. And he always says hawks don't fry with pigeons. So he's a very quiet, but when he gets started, he don't stop. He got a temper. He got a real temper. But he's very apologetic too. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this debate with Not a Coincidence and him. Not a Coincidence is a hot mess. He is a hot mess. And everybody wondering why he got a wrench. It's because Not a Coincidence always go everywhere and pick trouble. And I do hate to see him get blocked in the chat, but he pretty much watches his tongue. But he's still gonna talk shit. He don't care. And King Kaz is another one that I'm gonna give a wrench to because I like King Kaz. His ass, oh my god. I really like King Kaz. I do. But I think King Kaz is Jamaican too. I think he is. I wait a minute. I don't know. I think he might be. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Hey, Smoke. So, but Smoke, I just did the whole Jamaican thing. Is App Power live yet? So I could do a transfer. Let me see. Is he live yet? Here's a little lion butt. Oh, go ahead. Nope, he still ain't live. Nope. So we're just gonna stay here. I had to text him and see what time he's going live because he's supposed to be promoting the debate. The debate is on the 11th, right? Let me see. It's Saturday,
That's
yeah.
Veterans Day, Saturday.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Saturday. Not a coincidence. Are they charging for that debate?
Yeah.
$10, right? That's a fair amount. Damn, I didn't even send my $10 yet. I'm gonna send it though. Saturday. He said Saturday. Let me put this up here in the chat. Yeah, it's $10. So I'm gonna send mine to app power. Because I want to see that debate. I really want to see this. This is gonna be funny. Hawk School and didn't they debate before, or was that with King Kaz? He had a debate with Hawk School.
PNF.
No, I know he had one with PNF, but I could have sworn he had a debate with King Kaz or somebody. I can't remember. He had a debate before. PNF is a beast. I like PNF. I do. PNF is really, really nice. He likes to talk before he likes to fight, but when that motherfucker gets started, he start going. I like PNF. He crazy as hell. We don't agree on everything, but I like him. Yes. The debate on 11/11. How about that? We got to play them numbers, Satara. 11/11. We got to play them numbers.
That is Veterans Day, and 11/11 means manifestation in numerology.
Really?
That's what 11/11 means, manifestation.
You a numerologist?
Another time, another life. We all stumbled on
Somebody in YouTube is a
astrology and
numerologist.
black lights and those. Well, now I'm getting back into the 70s group. But go ahead, Queen.
I love to hear numerologists, and I'm not a zodiac. I know a lot about zodiac signs. Now, I be on point when I tell people about themselves because I studied zodiac signs when I was a little girl. My mother used to have the zodiac books back in the 70s, and I used to read them. So I know a lot about people's behaviors based on zodiac signs, the astrology books. And they would have all those she would have all those nasty pictures of zodiac signs in different sexual positions hanging on her wall in her room. It was just gross.
That came out with the Kama Sutra. They
Okay.
side by side.
It was like wooden, right? The little wooden ones hanging up on the walls. She had all of them on her walls for every zodiac sign. And I was so little. I was like 9 years old, and I would be looking, and I would just be thinking, I think mommy does this in her room. I'm serious.
The Kama Sutra, and those who got into transcendental meditation and Eastern religions, etc. If you remember that from the What's Love Got to Do with It, and what happened with Tina Turner's story and becoming a Buddhist, all of that kind of coalesced together with the hippie movement, Woodstock, free love, anti-Vietnam War, all that stuff.
The zodiac signs.
No, I'm saying the time period.
Oh, I love cancers. I get along so good with cancers. Are my soulmate. Go ahead.
The time period would be the late 60s into the 70s.
Yeah.
That's when it became, marketable, if you will. But my only concern, and I agree with you 100%, even in your staunch position today. My concern is this: whomever these people are, because I don't discriminate. I have yet to see a single alien that is not an enemy to me and mine. But these Caribbean folks and the Pan-Boo-Boos, they are all attaching themselves to us and then lying about it, like using blackness as a cover.
Yeah.
And when they get, like, Tariq makes the comments about the tethers, etc., and says that when they're going to be awarded something or being appreciated, then they proudly wave their nationality and their flag. When they commit crimes, they dump that on niggas. You feel me?
I
So
do.
again, when people come here to abuse their welcome, and I doubt that we've actually opened our doors. We do open our arms. I doubt that we actually open the doors to our houses. We're being invaded. But even while we're being invaded, we're accommodating. Isn't that something about the character of the American?
Yes,
And the thanks we get is them shitting on us and
correct.
holding us in contempt.
Yeah,
How does that work?
they trying to leech on us, bro. They're trying to leech, but I'm sorry. I'm like acid reflex. I'm stopping your ass in your traps. But the government is already hip to them, man. They ain't stupid. So when Cory Booker is reading and studying the HR 40 about African slavery, he gonna have to close the damn book. Because he gonna be like, yo, these people were on the islands. We ain't got shit to do with that slavery over there. On none of them islands. None of them. So I know you said you don't discriminate. I discriminate when it comes to my tax dollars, bro. More now than ever. Because
I know you may not have
when
heard
I
what I
left the
said. I
Democratic
said I
Party,
don't. Dif-
I was when I
I
left the
said I don't
Democratic Party,
differentiate.
Alabama, let me say this.
Yeah.
When I left the Democratic Party, I was able to open my eyes and see why I should be offensive like white Republicans when it comes to our tax dollar. I get it now. These foreign Jamaicans is trying to leech onto us, like you said, and all of them predominantly are Democrats to get our tax dollars and get your ass out of here with your green card from 1960. Some of their parents came here in the 1990s and they trying to claim reparations. You got a 1990 green card. Your grandmother. Some of them claiming reparations was born in Jamaica and then came here when they was little boys. Get your ass out of here. So if they born in the 60s, like me, the late 60s, 68, yo, you got a little green card. You're not getting reparations. That would probably be Garfield. But even if he was born here, your mother has a green card. Because you still got your accent. See, somebody like, not a coincidence, is which we call down here in the north, we call them Jamaicans. Because they're born here, raised in our school system, and they talk like us. They've did away with their accents until they get home at night speaking to Big Mama. Mama, my soup come yet? He done. You don't even know that's the same person you was with in school. They know how to switch up on that shit. So we call people like Jay Son and not a coincidence, Jamaicans. A Jamaican is a person born here, raised in our school system, and they lost their accents. And that's here in Connecticut. That's in New York, because a lot of them have like New York accents. Listen to Rob Orn. Oh, did I say that? He's Jamaican from the islands. A lot of them. They lose them accents until they go home at night with Big Mama. Because Big Mama said, I don't care, you don't let, and they teach their kids this. Jamaican culture will stay in this home. All right, cool. At night, they patois it up when they get in the house with Big Mama. Never be ashamed of being from Jamaica. You come here, you're strong. All right, cool. But when you get ready to do reparations, make sure you go to King Charles. I have a problem directing you to him. And
What is Hiawatha? What is Hiawatha referring to as code switching?
I don't know.
I think the example you are describing
You ain't got to
is
say
going
it.
back.
Only them speak like you, Shay son. You talking that bullshit with Africa shit. Take your ass back over the seas, boy. Hey, Smoke. Hey, Isness. Hit the link, sis. I want to ask you a question. I want to know what you and Smoke think about this.
Now, when
Because a
people
lot
who
of
are
these
going back
dudes
and
that
forth,
be a lot of these dudes that be up on our panels, not to be funny. Now, I hate Jamaicans? No, I don't. But when you fucking with my tax dollars, this is business. Now, a lot of these
but
dudes
see, they
that
don't.
be up on the panel with Chief Holiday, Ab Power, A1, Ab
Yeah,
TV, some of them
going at it,
motherfuckers,
hammer and tong
hold up. Some
Republicans.
of them be speaking just like me and you, and they be sitting there and they be Jamaican to the core. You just don't know it. But when it's time to present them green cards at the HR 40 table, you better put them up. Because if you don't, I'm putting them bitches up.
Now, this person that you kept referencing, and Shah Son, I don't really like to be calling people out because I don't really care about who you are as an individual. But you got to stop calling people liars while you're lying. Now, he said no one ever claimed themselves to be of African descent. Could you please clarify for these short bus students what is African descent? What is your understanding of that? Anyone
You
on the
gotta
panel?
prove.
What
You're
is your
gonna have to prove
understanding
in
of
court that your grandmother don't got a green card, nigga. You can't do that. Don't even show up to the court. Don't show up to the court, bro. You're gonna be embarrassed. All right. I'm not taking this shit from this nigga today. I'm not playing with him. You talk to him, Ali Boumar, because I can't. I'm just gonna cuss him out.
Well, he thinks he's slick and flippant. He wants to use Giannis. Now, you may not know who he means about this basketball player who was born in Greece, but his parents are Nigerian. Now, that is a direct proof of being an African descendant. But what is African descent? You see? Because this monkey people shit, Jane Elliott is out professing that all people are of African descent. Is she not? Tim Wise, another pale skinned European, I'm sorry, Chief Holiday would say a pale degenerate. They are professing to be the descendants of Eve. And where is Eve supposedly moving in south? Is that the Garden of Eden, the so-called African continent? Is that what they're implying?
They trying
Then
to say the
please
land of
explain
Canaan
to
is
me
here.
what is African descent? What is African descent? They don't charge Asians in China, Korea, Vietnam. They don't charge them with being of African descent.
Can I
They
tell
don't
you?
run down to New
Alabama.
Zealand or Australia and tell those people who are Polynesian. They do want to imply that they have phenotype, but they don't ask these people to say they're of African descent. I'm confused, Queen Mother.
Can I
No,
respond to you, bro?
salute,
Can I respond to you,
salute,
Alabama?
salute,
I want
smoke.
to have a
That smoke, that's fire. What's going on, smoke?
hold on, smoke. I want to
What's
respond
going
to
on?
Alabama. Y'all can hear me?
Sure.
Okay, so of African descent, let's deal with that, right? But first, you did lie on me, Alabama, because I never said that people don't say that they're of African descent. I said that people don't just walk around saying that they're African. We purposely say of African descent because we were not born there. I use Giannis because that's an example. He was not born in Nigeria, so he's of African descent if he wants to use that. I live by a Chinese restaurant. The boy in there, I've been knowing him since I was a kid, their child. He was born here. He's Chinese, but he can say that he's of Chinese descent because his parents are. He identifies as an American. So that's why we say of African descent. You understand that though, Alabama. You're not slow. I've heard you talk.
Uh,
So are you saying that you're a first or second generation African child or grandchild? Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
saying that. What I'm saying is,
So then I am
hold
still
on,
asking you, all right,
hold on.
I didn't interrupt your babbling.
One
So
mic.
I'm being direct of the
Okay, so let me
nonsense that's
respond. Let me
perpetuated.
respond to you.
I,
So what I'm saying is, if
that
you
was a
have
yes or no question. Did you say yes or did you say no?
said second or third generation, whether if it's fourth or fifth, it's still in the lineage. What does it matter? Asking the number is irrelevant. You trying to say that it's out your blood at a certain time? Come on, be wiser than that. Come on. You asking a stupid question.
Hold up, wait a minute. So are you saying that the African never leaves your blood?
Does the Indian leave your blood?
I'm asking you a question, brother. Can you answer that
Answer the
simple? Can
question,
you answer
bro.
that simple question, my nigga? Are you saying that the African never leaves your blood,
Say
Are,
it.
are you gonna disown your family? Or
brother?
you gonna disown? No, my
Answer
point is
the
no.
question.
No,
When
it
you
doesn't.
get
It's a
when
stupid
you get through
question.
talking, I still want you to answer that very simple question.
No, why would it? Even if it
Okay,
okay, wait, smoke. Let me respond to you. Even if it does, is that not your family still?
wait a
Is that
minute.
not your family still?
Uh, uh,
Even
let-
if
uh,
it did,
wait a minute. If it left my blood, I really couldn't say whether or not it's my family, right? Because family is based on bloodline, my nigga. So if it's not in my blood, how can I
so
dare have the
okay,
audacity to call it family? You
so okay,
explain it to me.
I got you. So when we did your DNA, we know that you got African in your blood. So it's still in you, right? When we put you on that summer jam screen and we exposed how your family was owned by Indians, we showed that you got African in yours. It's still there, right? So you still African, right?
Let me explain something to you, brother.
Oh,
Real
okay.
quick.
Please
Blue
explain it.
flag on the play.
Let me explain something to you. Because now you have to show me. What you will have to do is you have to show me where being owned by Indians makes you an African. First of all, you will have to do that.
What was the black people? Because they
Sir,
clearly wasn't Indians.
sir,
What were
sir,
the black people? What
sir.
were the
I'm
black
asking you
people?
you're getting a little bit irritated. These are very simple questions. Can
All
you
right, I
can you
can't
show me
irritate.
where can you show me where can you show me where here it has been defined that being owned by Indians makes you an African? Can you
Bro,
show me that, sir?
I'm not irritated, but it's just hard talking to you when we already exposed you. We exposed
Sir?
you. You're up
No,
here trying to
sir.
you a dead
See the
body up
same.
here.
That
Hold on, because the same issues that we was having the day that y'all so-called exposed me is the same issues we're having right now, my friend. You niggas just like to babble out a whole bunch of nonsense, but yet you refuse to answer very simple questions. And then you make
No, we
accusatory
don't.
statements and act
No,
as
we
if
don't.
though, hold on, I wasn't through, and act as if though you have validated anything. Now, once again, I'm going to ask you this very simple question before we can proceed. Does being owned by American Indians make you an African, sir? Yes or no?
If you black, yes. If you
Where,
black,
where,
yes.
where, where do we find that at?
Okay, so here we go. This is why you're gonna be disingenuous and you're gonna be
I just
dishonest.
want to know where we find that at, sir. Is that
Hold
in the
on, I gotta
Constitution?
tell.
Is it in the
I,
Bill of Rights?
I
Where in the slave
nope,
codes? Is that
nope.
in the slave codes? Where do we
it,
find that at, sir?
don't run. Do not run. Be quiet. Who did your specific
Not
tribe
even the
own?
treaties.
Wait. Who did your specific tribe own? Do you know about the Choctaw? Do you know about? Do you know? Because I could go get the video right now if you want to get exposed again.
Please go get that video. Please. So we can understand the level. So we can understand the level of my exposure.
Yeah.
Got you. I got you.
Yeah.
You'll be sure
Thank
to be
you.
on that summer jam
Thank
screen
you.
soon again.
Thank you. Do that, sir. Don't
I
bluff.
want to.
Don't
I
bluff.
want.
Hey,
I
don't
got you.
bluff. Go get your
No,
stuff.
no, no. We don't got to bluff. You
Don't
exposed it already. We don't got to
don't
bluff.
bluff. Hey, don't bluff.
We don't got to
Don't
bluff.
bluff. Go get your stuff.
You
Yeah,
didn't. You punch. You punch.
that's
Wait.
what I'm saying.
You punched
Don't
your brother.
bluff. Don't bluff. Go get your stuff.
We not gonna bluff. We use you for wreck. Because you an example. Because the next one
Please
of
pull
y'all,
up.
I got you,
Please pull up
smoke.
Exhibit A, brother.
He
I
big
got you.
bad, dog.
Because
Can you
no.
please
You're
pull
not
up?
mad.
You're doing a lot
Hold
of
on.
talking, but I don't see anything. You're doing a lot of
Wait,
talking. You
wait,
showing
wait,
nothing. You're doing a
wait,
lot
wait,
of talking, but you ain't showing nothing, my nigga.
wait.
Is you bluffing? Is you bluffing?
Wait, let me respond to you. You're
Are
an
you
example.
bluffing, brother?
Why you not letting me talk? You're an example because the rest of y'all keep playing this. Oh, my family was da 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 da. Da. We gonna keep putting y'all on the summer jam screen. We gonna keep exposing how y'all family was owned by these so-called Indians that y'all keep
We
playing,
exposing you.
playing. That's all. Keep
Let's
playing,
go.
because you don't keep doing it to y'all. You just was the first
You
one.
gonna keep talking, or you gonna bring up Exhibit A, my nigga? Are you gonna keep talking, or is you gonna bring up Exhibit A? What you gonna do? Because right now nobody believes you. Nobody believes you, brother.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I ain't really come up here for you because you exposed of it. I came up here to clarify something with Alabama because I like Alabama.
Did you get it clarified, my nigga?
I'm trying to have that conversation with Alabama. He asked me what African descent was. I'm just trying to make sure he's clear on what I said. That's all.
Have you explained what African descent was yet, brother?
Yes, I did to Alabama. I want to know how he feels about it. I don't really want to talk to you. You African. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to my Aboriginals and my Indians.
What did you just say? He called him African?
Yeah, he's
What?
African. Yeah, he's definitely
No,
African.
son.
To the Aboriginals or the Indians.
Lies. Come on, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, you definitely are Aboriginal, brother. You have no degree of African in you by any means whatsoever. I bet if we can have a conversation with any of your ancestors, they would deny Africa utterly. But you niggas always riding along, right? You niggas don't depend on the oral reports of your elders, right? You niggas depend on the historical narratives, right?
Oh, hold on, Smoke. We
never have conversations. We never have conversations about what y'all uncles and aunties and grandmas think, right? Because according to you niggas, grandma was a stupid. According to you niggas, grandma was stupid and uneducated, right? So anything she could ever say can't be validated, right?
No.
Grandma was uneducated, right? According to you niggas.
Because you want to hear grandma's story, right? So again, I do.
I trust my grandmother. I trust my grandmother more than I trust you. I trust my grandmother more than I trust you.
That's cool. So here go my grandma's story. My grandmother is not the oldest child. She has two older sisters, right? Before their mother passed away, you know what I'm saying, they would talk to their mother. Their mother was my great grandmother was born in 1926 in Charleston, South Carolina. She was the youngest of 6 siblings. Do you know that none of them identified or called themselves Indians? They all knew who the Indians were. So if they wasn't calling themselves Indians or they didn't identify as Indians, what were they? Please tell me, Smoke.
Did they tell you they were African?
Yeah.
I got you. They didn't have to. All the Negroes back then already knew they were of African descent. They knew that. These people were coming out of slavery. They knew that already. They didn't have to say it. They knew they wasn't Indian.
But then how do you know?
Hey, bro. I don't know why you up here.
If they were not Indian, what were they?
All that yelling. Hey, bro, all that yelling with them tidy. All that yelling with them tidy whiteys on, my nigga. Hey, bro. Calm down. Calm down, my nigga. Stretch your drawers out, bro. Stretch your drawers out, bro. You not intimidate. You not intimidate nobody. Calm down. Calm down, my nigga. Damn, my nigga. Stretch your underoos out, bro. Stretch your underoos out, bro. Throwing that shit down, my nigga. I don't know where the fuck you think you at. I don't know where the fuck you think you at, bro.
Ask these stupid questions.
Damn, Smoke.
Don't kill him, Smoke.
I would love to know from you, Smoke, what were my fan, what that particular section of my family. What were they if they wasn't Indians? Because they damn sure wasn't European. I'm black as hell. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm not light skinned.
We finna try to help you out, brother. We finna try to help you out, brother. We finna try to.
Wait. Hear me out.
We finna try to help you, brother. You want to know what they were if they weren't Indians? Is that what you want to know?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to know? Okay, I think the only thing we have to go by is what they actually reported to be, brother. And what did they report to be, brother?
They was identifying as African Americans eventually.
In 1920, she did not say she was an African American.
This is a casting call. Hold on, sir. So you saying,
back then identified the Negro?
Calm down, brother. We heard you. You said African American. You said they reported to be, sir. Did you or not?
Negroes.
Negroes. They reported to be
Negroes. Y'all asking these dumbass. What were the Negroes? What were they?
Go look it up.
He said African American.
All right, do you want?
Yeah.
All right, do you want the answer to these questions, or do you just want to ramble, or do you just want to ramble the fuck on? Which one is it?
I'm asking y'all. What were the African? What were the black people? What were the Negroes?
Flag on the play.
Y'all not gonna answer. What were they? Y'all not gonna answer that.
Let me know when you're ready for the answer. Let me know when you're ready for the answer, brother. Let me know when you're ready for the answer.
Go ahead, Smoke.
Now, can I get that question again? Because I don't know what all that rambling. I need a clear question, brother.
That's dad right there. That's granddad.
Y'all gotta do this because y'all don't want to talk about no scholarship or no real information. Y'all gotta drink.
Say hi to your granddad. He don't want to say hi to his grandpa. He mad.
Oh man.
That aggravated
have a heart attack.
Is that aggravated ass nigga still up?
His head was gonna explode in
I think he done peed himself a little bit.
I'm younger than all of y'all. I know most of y'all on this panel is like 2 laughs away from a heart attack or something like that. So I'm not.
Hey brother, it appears as if though you just want us to accept your African story, brother. I tell you what. To make a fair exchange, if we accept your African story, and you should accept.
What about the Bearstic Bears?
Right.
African up there, and we know your family was slaves, so you know you're the only one up there that's clear cut African.
Don't forget to say once upon a time.
You're making a lot of statements. Now I want to ask you something concerning that. Does slave mean African, brother?
Not at all.
Okay, so what you saying? How are you equating the two?
Stop disrespecting your grandpa here.
Your family was slaves. that Indian lady. What was her name? Go ahead, tell us the name. Because Sister Betty exposed this a couple of months ago too. So that wasn't even nothing new. She the first person that put you on the Summer Jam screen. She been told you your family was owned by slaves. I don't even know why we needed to show you that.
No.
No, don't let him trigger you, Sister Betty. Don't let him trigger you. This is a Pan-African. This is a Pan-African ploy. This is a Pan-African ploy because he wants us to share the misery. He wants us to share the misery that he is experiencing at the moment. But so we're not miserable. We are free inhabitants. Damn, this lady back here screaming at these goddamn badass kids. I'm talking about this. Hey, look, brother.
He said we're family, and that he's not a Pan-African. He said he's not African.
That's how that Indian lady was screaming at Smoke Signal family.
This is what he's attempting to do.
That he's an indigenous person just like us. Like he's from here. That he's not African. So I don't know why he's arguing.
Most people ain't got no green cards.
That's
no
right.
Green cards. No
you
green
got
cards.
a green
No
card.
Boy, bye.
Come on, Jamaican boy. Jamaican boy.
The Isness, what did you say?
You're Jamaican.
I said that you just came up on here
ancestor.
and you said that you are not African, and you said that we are all families. We your brothers and sisters. You're indigenous, just like us. That's what you just said.
Wow, that sucks.
Prove you're indigenous.
You gotta have integrity.
Yeah.
Prove it. Prove you're indigenous, boy.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Wait, what?
Does your license say white?
Prove you're indigenous.
Didn't you just say I'm up here with my abo, whatever that means, brothers and sisters?
No, I said I wanted to talk to Abo. Smoke Signal, his family was enslaved by some Indian lady that be yelling like in the background.
He is backtracking.
Liar, you're a liar. His family owned slaves.
Tap dancing.
Stop lying.
Hey, Smoke, you gonna listen to Betty Lazarus now? You gonna listen to Betty Lazarus?
I'm not sharing no
Stop tap dancing.
Sister Betty, if I could.
What's up? Go ahead, brother.
Just to the man that's speaking. He believes he's from Africa, correct?
No, I didn't never say that. See what I mean? They got
you believe in Africa.
No,
You
the
gotta,
reason
you gotta have some integrity.
hold on, brother. Before
I
you
got
pump
you.
your
I got
brakes
you.
real quick. I
Have some
get you, bro.
integrity.
You've been going on and going on. I get you.
Have
It's
some
okay.
All
integrity.
right, man.
It's
Take
I
the
don't
okay.
have
tight whiteys off.
Okay.
Take
I
a
don't
Now
have
deep
no
breath.
problem. No, wait. I don't have no problem with you, brother. Let's have some integrity if we're gonna have a conversation. That's all I'm saying. You can ask your question. I don't want to do the insults and all the corny, rhetoric. If you want to
Man,
ask,
just go on
then
with the question.
ask me.
Nigga, you been up here screaming like a coyote the whole time you been up here. Now you want to have some
Exactly.
integrity. Fuck out of here, nigga.
No, y'all cutting me off laughing and joking. Don't do that.
Oh, shut up.
You can ask your question if you want, brother.
You big mad, aren't you? You bad.
I'm
Not at
good. There's
all.
no
I'm
point in
having a
asking you
conversation with
anything because I guess you just don't know what decorum is, but it's fine. Thank you, bro.
y'all. It's five of y'all talking over me. Do you know what decorum is, brother?
Spell decorum, bro.
You spell it.
What's the definition of decorum?
Y'all wanna joke. Y'all don't want to have a conversation. Y'all don't want to talk
Are you
about
in
nothing.
special ed, sir?
It's your daughter in special ed?
This is your father.
Is your daughter in special ed?
Is your mom in special ed? You better watch your
Is
mom.
your mom's in special ed? Right? See what I mean? Y'all don't want to talk about it. You want to do this. I asked you to ask your
This
question.
man is getting upset today.
Nobody upset. I'm asking you
Come
to ask
on
your
now.
All
Let's
right,
have some respect here. Come on now.
Alabama.
Come on there. You've been calling him a liar and everything on the comments and everything. Stop it.
He is a liar.
Hey,
I'm still
Shay,
saying that.
is it Shay's son or Shaw's son?
It's Shaw's son. He's still a liar.
Okay.
And what? What you
Okay.
saying?
More like Shy Baby.
But go ahead, Isness. Go ahead. I want to talk to somebody that's cool. I don't know these niggas. They running their mouth. I don't know them.
We
Go
don't
ahead.
know you neither.
Yeah, I don't know you either. So
Okay, so let's say I agree that slaves came to hundreds of millions of slaves came to the United States mainland in 1500. How long do you have
the link at the top? I'm sorry,
how
baby.
long?
Go ahead.
It's okay. How long does a person have to be here? So say my great grandmother came on a slave ship. How long does she have to be here for me to say that I'm an American? And I'm an indigenous, even if she's mixed in with somebody from here.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Because
Hold on, Alabama. Let me respond to her because this was the same thing you asked her. That's why people say of African descent because technically we're the offspring born here. So we're not
Who's
gonna
we,
just flat out.
boss? Stop
Let
that.
me land, brother. I didn't cut her off. I didn't cut her.
Flag on the play.
I didn't cut her off. I didn't cut her off. Let me talk. That's what I'm saying. You said decorum, right? Let me land. What I'm saying is I'm not gonna say that a person born here, the offspring, of course, they're not gonna say that they're, like just full-fledged African because they're born here. That's why they say of descent. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. If you don't agree with that, they don't have to say that. They could say, yo, I'm African if they want, but technically we know they're not born here. That's why I use the basketball player Giannis that Alabama mentioned because he tells you that
That's not somebody who came in 1500 though. I'm talking
it
about
doesn't matter.
the
His
slave
family
story.
what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. His family wasn't born in Greece. He was. That's why he says I'm of African descent. My family is from Nigeria. That's where they were born. I'm from here. He don't have to resonate with. We had that talk yesterday. You said your family from the South, right? I get what you're saying, yo. But when I get what you're saying, but it's still on the same landmass. But me and you both our families from the South. You're not gonna resonate with Georgia. You're gonna say I'm from. When they asked you in Butter 10, why you didn't say you was from Georgia?
Well, you know why I wouldn't resonate from Georgia?
Why
Because
you
my
didn't say you
family
was
ain't from
Georgia?
Georgia. That's why I
But
don't
why you
resonate
didn't
with
say
Africa. Because my
What the
family's not
hell?
from
You can't
Africa.
tell nobody's story, bro.
No, I'm not telling her story. What I'm saying is if you saying that you're supposed to do this, why are you not saying that I am from Georgia? You told them you was from California. Your family is originally from Georgia. But why you didn't say Georgia?
Why didn't I say Georgia? Because my family's not from Georgia. Now we'll say
You said your family originally came from there.
on this panel that
One
I have
mic. Let us
said
speak.
that I am from Arkansas and I am from other states. I have literally, yes, I do. If you talk to me, I will tell you where my family's from. I will not make up a story. I won't point to some other place. I won't just tell you I'm from California. I will let you know where my family's from. Absolutely. But I know that my family has never told me that we were from Africa.
You
And
just get mine.
That
Now, may I
listen
respond?
of the conversation
Because this
go ahead,
continues
Alabama.
cacophony
Let him
of
speak.
confusion. Simply put, you have 8 great grandparents, 16 great grandparents, and 32 great grandparents. Now, if any one of those, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 16, 1 out of 32, I would suggest most of the time, if you're going to claim there was an African ancestor, it wasn't a woman. So that means it was the sperm of a man. And I doubt very seriously that any one individual wipes out the descendants or the ethnicity of all the other ancestors that you have. Now, what has actually been codified in law as the one drop rule was referred to as a slur, as a nigger in a woodpile. Now, these same people, we've discussed this repeatedly, which obviously you don't listen or you don't care to deal with the facts. Walter Ashby Plecker used that in reverse to stretch all white people, particularly in the House of Burgess in Virginia, to be the descendants of one American Indian, Pocahontas. Some say that's not even her name. Additionally, then you're going to at least imply to the American Indian that one African nigger in the woodpile wipes out all of their American Indian status. Now, I know that, Isness, you're not suggesting that, but am I understanding that is what is being done
I'm
by
not saying that,
Pan-Africanism?
Alabama. I'm not saying that, Alabama. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I was responding to Isness.
Oh,
I'll
all
get
right,
back to you, young brother. I'll get back to you. Now, Isthmus, would you agree or disagree that such a policy has been instituted that is referred to as the one drop rule?
agreed. I agree.
And what was the purpose of this one drop rule to try to stamp Africanness a la slave inferiority ancestry on who?
The American on everybody.
The American.
And so, therefore, if one is to agree that African, by definition, is slave descendants, what does it mean to you, person?
That just makes you a perpetual slave. You are always coming from a slave narrative because all that ancestor will forever be. They can't even like time won't even take it out. You're forever that slave. That slave. It's perpetual slavery.
Now let's go to the opposite side of what the one drop rule was to prove. It was to prove that you could never be purely Caucasian or white, correct? One drop of Negro blood means that you could never be purely white.
White.
Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that eugenics?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that allegedly what some convincing themselves to believe, such a thing as white supremacy?
I believe it's white supremacy.
Then explain
really.
to me how, if whiteness is supreme, how one drop of nigger blood can wipe it out.
It taints your blood. I mean, that's racist to say. You know that one drop that came hundreds of years ago taints your blood forever.
But who is it we're trying to convince with this? And you know what I mean when I say the American, not these flag waving, hooping and hollering, claiming they're patriots, including those of African ancestry, not descent, because African descent means you're a slave. So what is the Afro diaspora news of the day, my good sister? An African nigger slave is a what?
Always an African slave.
Of what benefit is that to your children, your sons, your daughter?
Zero.
You moving the goalpost, Alabama.
So, that being said, why didn't they say Africans warned to leave Carter? Why didn't they say African people of Boston? Why are they saying these are Negro Indians? Why are they carrying these signs?
I see a Cherokee Freedman song.
That's just a status. Freedman is a status, whether you're enslaved or freed. They're Cherokee,
Why
like the
song just
judge
don't say
said.
Cherokee?
Like the
Now,
judge
Queen
said.
Mother,
Like the judge
Come on,
said.
playing video games.
Like the judge said when they won the fucking case. They're Cherokee. They're
now, Queen Mother,
Cherokee.
Freedmen
when
of
these
what though? What are they
imposters,
freedmen
these
for?
Native Americans, and these $5 frauds,
Again,
when they started ejecting the Negro, which is the Indian by
don't play
custom
with
and
me,
tribal
big.
law,
Don't
when
play
they
with me.
started ejecting the authentic Indian by custom and law, what was that? What is your position on that?
My mother was
Because
just like
that's
that
the
lady.
law. Who's the Indian? The law of the tribe and custom. The law of the nation of all 5 civilized tribes. The Negro is the Indian. That's the law. No blood needed. The white person needed the blood to claim to be an Indian, not the Negro, because it's
So
the
people, when
law that they are the Indian. I'm not finished. These people were not the slave masters in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. I'm not finished.
Mestizos.
They were not slave masters in the Confederate States. Don't play with me.
but that is
So
what Shah's son is trying
let
to
me ask you a
disrespect
question.
smoke
I'm not
signal.
trying to
That is
disrespect
what he
nobody.
just that is what he
Hold
just
on,
attempted to do with smoke
hold on,
signal.
Alabama.
It's
Let me ask Sister
implied
Becky.
that
Let me
these
ask Sister Becky this
imposters
question.
who are co-collaborators with white colonizers actually enslaved the American Indian and then ejected him or her out of the tribes, calling them freedmen, as in freed slaves, Queen Mother. Now,
Why
you know,
didn't
Ask
they?
Sister Becky a question. I just want to ask
Why?
Sister Becky a simple question. I'm not trying to attack. I just want to ask her a simple question.
What's the
So,
question?
so we know that the Cherokee. So you're saying that the Cherokee didn't have slaves. I just want to be clear. I don't want to misquote you.
I didn't say the Cherokees didn't have slaves. They were their own kids.
Okay, stop right there. So when we read up on the Cherokee and they say that they own slaves, are you saying these are black people owning black people, and then black people are having a dispute about this?
Yes.
So
Because
these is
the
a bunch
white
of black.
people, yes,
Okay.
because the white people that took over the tribes was keeping them out and kicked them out once they got a little Indian blood in them. When tribal nations expel their black members, boy, don't play with me ever.
and
Why
Queen
didn't they
Mother, did
say
they not use
expel their?
blood quantum?
Why doesn't it say expel their Africans?
Yes, it do.
Don't
I could
play
show,
with me. And
wait. I could show you,
these ain't no
Sister
Jamaicans.
Betty. Sister Betty. I could show you. I could show you a bunch of documents that say that
Facts.
they own slaves of African descent. I could show you that. I could post them in the
That's
back chat right
modern
now.
day language. It's not been used.
Well, all right,
Get
Sister
Facts.
off
Betty.
of it.
Hold
Get
on, Sister
off of
Betty.
it. They
Sister Betty,
didn't call
hold
us Africans in these days.
on.
Boy,
Sister
don't make me
Betty.
kick you off this planet.
Hold on, Sister
That
Betty.
word
We just
was
having a
not used
conversation.
to
Okay.
describe our people. And in
Okay,
those
but
very days that you're talking about is when this shit was going on. Don't
okay,
play with me.
okay, Sister Betty. So that's why I asked Smoke Signal. That's why when I mentioned my family, and when you got documents like with the Yamasi where it's saying Indians and Negroes. All I'm asking you guys is if they're making the distinction, who are the Negroes? If they're making clear distinction,
Because what they did was they wanted to distinguish between the white and the black, just like they did in the General Assembly. They called the darker person colored and the white. But we predominantly
was calling
ran
white
the
people Indians.
legislator.
That's what you're saying?
I'm talking about in the legislator, boy.
No, what I'm
When
asking you is
wait a
just
minute.
when I'm saying
When no, you're not gonna do this shit.
I'm
When
just trying to
a
be
white
clear.
person fakely claimed a Negro, Indian, grandma, they invaded them damn tribes. Those were our former governments. And I'm not going to keep telling y'all this. Stop the bullshit.
Whether he's doing this on purpose or not,
I can't even
the
get a
people
question
with
now. I'm
this
trying to ask
mentality,
You don't need a question because you
but you
should
keep
know this.
asking the same
You should
thing
know
over
this.
and over.
You should
and
know
not
this
listen.
by
All right,
now.
Sister Betty, what I'm saying is let me just hear me.
No,
now.
you can't even. You know what? You know what? You can't
I'm
even
trying to get
ask me.
clarity with you.
No, you can't even ask me no more question. You're not qualified no more. Get out of here. Fuck out of here, man. I'm tired of this dude with his simple ass. Take your ass over to Q Butter channel. Fuck out of here. Don't ever come over here. I ain't seen, never seen such a stupid ass nigga in all my life.
As I just asked Isness, pointing out how these same absquatulating crackers used law by claiming a one-drop rule. They went and claimed for themselves American Indian status by claiming, just as you just said, Queen Mother, a black abuela, black grandmother, great-grandparent, whatever. They all claim Pocahontas.
You ain't coming back on my channel. Don't come back over here.
Then they're going to tell the authentic ones.
And simple.
When we keep going back and forth with this Negro term, they refer to Africans as Negroes. They refer to Americans as Negroes. You heard what Dr. Ali Muhammad brought to the debate with Jabari about they had two specific.
He didn't have me on the ropes, not a coincidence. They separated the light white Indian from the Negro Indian so they could take over. They all claim they had one granny on 1/16. How the fuck you a full Indian with a 1/16, 132, 164? Get your ass out of here.
And then they use that to position themselves as the white chieftains and then expel the Indian who is Negro by law and custom.
Exactly.
And that is the exact same thing the Pan-African is doing. They're taking your, if it's true, a 1/16 of you or the 132, taking a small 164, and then they're taking that and they're saying, see, boom, you're Nigerian, you're African. And that's the same thing that those white people did to the Indians in those Indian tribes.
Yes.
And then they're taking that, they're saying, see,
that's why that judge ruled the way he did. He said, no, she's Cherokee. They're Cherokee. I read that case.
Well, if
about that simple ass boy.
Well, if making the claim to always have been in America disrupts the African American community, if it disrupts it by any means, then me myself, I say it deserves a motherfucking pat on the back, because the African American community is a misnomer. It's deplorable, and I think it needs to be obliterated, down, deaf to the African American community, nigga. Let me be the first one to say it. Deaf to the African American community, nigga.
You forgot to holler Allahu Akbar.
I concur.
You forgot to holler Allahu Akbar. Now, my good brother, these are slave catchers. Do you not know that? These are 21st century slave patrols. Do you understand that?
Yep.
These people are going out identifying who are the perpetual servants under the doctrine of discovery, and then they're doing what to them? Pimping them out as agents of a white supremacist capitalist system.
Yes.
They're then going to tell you, you must go beg white zaddy for reparations. What are the reparations for, Queen Mother?
Police work. Those were the gatekeepers.
Isn't the first requirement you must be accepting and volunteering that you're a descendant of a slave by African descent? That was what I was asking Shah's son. who seems to actually be either completely an imbecile or is purposely training for CIA agent status. So if you're going to attach African descent to yourself, then so be it. But it will not be tolerated in this community to put that toxic, poisonous environment over an entire people. Kunta.
Agreed.
And while I'm at it, I'm going to beat your ass into Toby.
Sister Bethy, if I could ask this one question, because this is the one thing I've never seen any of these people do that believes this out of Africa theory. What tribe are they from in Africa? Not one person has said what tribe they from.
Most
and
of
I
them
want
have
them.
that's because they from Jamaica.
Well, every time I ask them that question, did they tell me because of slavery and everything that happened during the slave trade, that they have no way to quantify which actual tribe they came from. All they can do is take
They
a
had no
DNA.
way to quantify that, but we have the documented records of the tribal nations of North America.
It's cool. Calm down,
going
brother.
through this every day.
Brother, hey, you right now you preaching to the choir, my nigga. We on the same side. All I'm saying is this is the answer that I get from them when I ask them that very question. They give me the slave trade remix and how interacting with this very powerful European, it caused them to go into a state of amnesia, whereupon out of all the hundreds of thousands and millions of Africans that was brought here, not one seemed to have the capacity to remember which tribe he was actually from. This is the story I get from these guys. So that's basically a mute question now, because they have no answer for that. All they rely on now, all they rely on now is the DNA. If the DNA can't tell them what tribe they from, then they have no idea, brother. That's best you're gonna get from them.
Well, that was what my next statement was going to be. They throw Fulani, Igbo, and Yoruba from that same test. But you got it, bro. Cook. Smoke on.
Well, I have a question. So if I was a descendant, let's say of Jefferson and Sally Hemon, say they were my grandparents, would that make me white?
The one drop
say that
rule I
again.
just asked you is that no, she said that it doesn't make her white. Did I not ask you what is the one drop rule in law?
I didn't hear the question.
What is
Okay,
the one
so
drop rule
Thomas
supposed to be
Jefferson is a white. I think he was president, right? And then you have the slaves, the black woman slave that he supposedly had this black wife slave person, right? And they made all these babies. Now, say I was one of their descendants. Does that make me a white person?
No, because Thomas Jefferson wasn't white. He was whitewashed.
And he was a mulatto, according to some in his ancestry.
He was a mulatto.
Yeah, he was whitewashed. That's all.
Okay, if he was a mulatto, that means that there's an ancestor somewhere. Would that make me white? If there was a white person way back there somewhere, would that make me a white person?
No.
No.
Not by any means.
They're doing the same thing with the African. They're taking one African from somewhere and telling you that you're an African. And just like I'm not that African, I'm not the European. I'm not that white person.
But they're not even doing that. They're not even doing that because they have no African. They have no African.
So they have no African. So essentially, they have no identity at all. They can't even find out where they're from. Right? They can't even find out where they're from.
It's a dude, right? It's a dude in a community, in a Pan-African community, go by the name Lucky Guzman.
Oh my!
Right. He swears Big Meat. He swears that he's African.
Blue Meat.
Yeah, he swears that his one quantified African ancestor goes by the name of Wild Bill. You can't make this shit up, brother. The one African that he ties himself to happens to have the name of Wild Bill.
There he is, right there. They go Wild Bill, right there up on the thing. His name Wild Bill. That's the African, Mr. Jamaican man.
That's okay.
But even if you are proving that, What you are proving is slave status. Why? Why are you compelled to prove you are a slave?
That is the ultimate question. What makes you bonded by the hip with this
Getting
narrative?
timed out for that shit.
That is crazy.
Come up here talking that crazy shit.
That's the true question.
That's Wild Bill, the Jamaican boy up there.
So to me, slavery equals weakness, because of you saying that you were enslaved by a number that was lesser than your number, then that only indicates weakness, right? If there was only a handful of so-called white Europeans over here enslaving all these niggas and killing all these Indians over here, that only makes your history weak as hell.
On it, man.
Yeah, you got a lot of nerves sitting up there looking like.
Hold on, Smoke.
Damn.
Does that confirm their supremacy?
Yes, it confirms. It confirms that group of people who did such incredible acts. Man, you and these kids, I tell you the truth. If that confirms the strength of these people, yes, that would indicate that they are indeed a supreme race, and we should all take that example and just bow down to these people. But I doubt that that's really. I doubt that that is really historically accurate.
So why does not the white male penis wipe out all your Negroness?
Because they're not superior genetically. Voila, just genetically. That's the only thing they're not superior in is genetics. Go figure that.
And that's
pretty good.
sad. That's sad about Lucky Guzman sitting up there looking like Lil Meech, right? And I'm ready to be like the first Puerto Rican with dreads. Like Lil Meech. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me pull his ass up. Just a minute.
Sister Bethany, if I can say this to Smoke Signal. If I can say this to Smoke.
The question that I asked, the superiority of the white man to claim his American Indian status requires a black abuelita, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother, 1 out of 32, 1 out of 64, 1 out of 128. But his whiteness is superior.
Yo.
But the Negro blood is required for him to be authentic. Make that make sense, please?
You can't make this shit up. Let's look at Lucky Guzman's little brother. Look, y'all. Look at Lucky Guzman, y'all. Oh, man. Look at Lucky, y'all. He talking about he African. Looking like that. Look at Lucky, y'all. I swear, the next time you see Lucky on the panel, when he turned his camera on, just revert back. Look at Lucky right there. Little me. Look at Lucky all day. Next time y'all see his ass, get your fucking laugh on.
That's hilarious.
Now in Charlottesville, the cry was, "You will not replace us." While they have done that to the American in North America, they have said, "We will take your identity," after they defined what American was. They said, "I will claim to be your descendant by taking one of your women, 4, 5 generations removed. And at the same time, I'm going to claim one Kunta Kinte nigga wipes out all of your authentic American Indian status by custom and tribal law." Have I got that straight?
Yes, you do. But the thing about it, you're talking about Jamaicans, because that's who came over here and started sleeping with the hood girls. Them your Africans that was bought from Africa. That's why I keep telling y'all them dudes ain't us.
I'm the same color as Sister Bethy, by the way.
And Jamaicans do not get along with Pookie and Ray Ray here in the north. I'm telling you, it's horrible. Horrible here in the north. They do not get along. They do not rock together. It's because they're African. Africans don't even talk to us in the north here. Them Nigerians or all them African areas.
They don't. They don't come at us like we're their brothers and their sisters and their cousins, unless they want something. But let them not leave you for something. They never approach.
Clear,
No, they
I'm
don't.
clearing what I'm hearing from both of you sisters. The Africans and the Caribbeans may not be one and the same, but they are blood mixed together to get the nigga on the mainland.
Facts.
Now, the Native American is being
on?
used as a co-collaborator with the white colonizer to take the actual identity of the American Indian and then kick them out of the tribes with federal Uncle Sam jurisdiction because the Negro is Indian by tribal law and custom. Have I missed something, Queen Mother?
No, you did not. It's the law who the Indian is. And it's the law that white people are Indians because of by blood. Because they slept with the Indian. What does the law say? The law says the Negro is the Indian. White people are Indian by blood. So if the law says who the Indian is, you slept with the Negro. And which is why the judge, federal judge, said she's Cherokee.
But again, they called that a nigga in the woodpile, did they not?
Yep. And all them Cherokees that's in there, them freedmen, all they got to do is go and start their own damn tribes. They're deemed Cherokee. They don't got to stay under that power of them whites claiming to be Indians. They don't got to stay there, none of them. They're already deemed Cherokee. So they can go start their own goddamn Cherokee tribes. They're deemed Cherokee by federal law. Federal law. It's the law. It's the law.
So people who keep trying to deprive you of your identity is a violation of ADRIP Article number 3. Your right to self-determination. Did you just not describe that, Queen Mother? The right to self-determination. Anyone who deprives you of that is violating international law. And the participating of identity theft and stealing the culture of an indigenous people is an attempt at genocide. Article 11 of the American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People.
And these dudes over in the HOK and over there with Q Butter Channel and Garfield and them, they trying to leech on to the nigga, but we don't see eye to eye, remember? We don't. We will never see eye to eye. You are not indigenous to the America. You came from Africa. You came from Africa. You are not indigenous to the Americas. You came from Africa on slave ships, as it is clearly stated. You are truly the African.
What's up? Who said they had a question?
I did, sir.
What's up?
So if I understand what you were saying correctly, because how I took it was that you have been consistently pinpointing straight questions to people that they continuously dodge, because now that I've heard you numerous times, and I don't mean to sound like this, but it's really that they're tying themselves to the white or European indoctrination, or therefore just going along with the program, like the get along gang. So if they say that you're from Africa, they just say, oh, we're from Africa. They have no knowledge of nothing, because every time
I
I
mean,
heard you ask straight questions, it's like you never get those questions asked, and that kind of pisses me off.
well, yeah, because it's when you do it when you're dealing with a historical fallacy, it can't stand in the face of a direct question, right? It has to be danced around, evaded. You know what I'm saying? It has to be answered with a question to insert the probability that the questioning is off center, and all these other tactics that they use instead of just saying yes or no. Because if you're saying that you are an African, when you're saying that everybody else is an African, then can you please tell me the name of the African upon which we descend from? That should be a very simple question. What is the name of the damn African upon which you descend from? What's so hard to
So
answer
and
about that? Because you
there,
definitely African,
They
right?
but
keep hiding
so smoke
behind their
signal
culture,
to
their
ask one
language,
more.
their
Hold
God
on,
was
Alibama,
stripped from
please,
them.
real quick. Can
How
I?
is it not the
Okay.
same for the American Indian?
Hang on, Alibama. Straight Smoke was asking a question. Go ahead, Straight Smoke, because he was dialoguing with Smoke.
So
Go ahead,
so smoke
Straight Smoke.
signal. So smoke signal. Thank you, Sister Betty. So smoke signal. In essence, if I'm understanding this correctly, they're just going off European theology and ideology and calling it is what it is. Correct?
I mean, that's all I can observe from this whole argument. That's all I can observe because a European can tell you his grandfather got off a boat in Ellis Island. They can give you his name. They can give you their particular province from which their people descend from. The Asians can do that as well. They can do that as well. The East, whatever foreign group you're talking about, they can take you back to their people from which they descend. They can give you some names. They can give you some locations. They can probably even give you some of their cultural affiliations that was tied to their ancestry. But these niggas who are abundantly African, right? They 82 and 97% African. They can't do any of that. They can't do any of that. All right. They can't show you the African culture that they currently practice, which it should be very abundant here if we all goddamn African. That shit should be very persistent even until this day. We only talking 400 years. Surely that is not enough time to evolve. You evolutionary theory ass niggas. That's not enough time to evolve. So what we doing here? Name them Africans, nigga. That's all I need y'all to do. Name them Africans upon which you descend, my nigga. Or shut the fuck up, like y'all say. Source up or shut the fuck up.
That's all I need to hear.
That's right.
But Smoke, I'm asking again. If the argument is that the African's language, culture, and God was stripped from him, how is that not the same for the American Indian?
It's not the same for the American Indian because there wasn't none of that stripped from us. It was only reclassified, brother. It was just reclassified. It went from one name to another name. From that name to another name. We are still the same people, still practicing the same culture, just under a different identity, brother. We ain't went nowhere.
And so they are trying to stamp made in Africa on us. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, basically. But Africans have their own thing, and we don't share that. We have none of the things that Africa has as a people. None of that culture, none of those traditions, none of those beliefs. You know what I'm saying? We don't dance the same. We don't talk the same. We don't act the same. You know what I'm saying? We don't gravitate toward the same philosophies in our lives. Nothing like that. We are not Africans by any means, except for when it comes to a fake ass DNA test.
Facts.
And you still can't prove it.
Facts.
23andMe.
I couldn't break it down no more than what Smoke did.
Metabiota.
That's just spot on. And in this instance, if you're talking about the Jamaicans and you want to know who their African ancestor is, all they have to do is tell you their grandmother's name that's over in Jamaica, because that's your African ancestor according to this breakdown. They can prove that they're African. Facts.
To reiterate, Queen Mother, anyone who's trying to stamp made in Africa on an American Negro is violating international law.
Facts.
You know what? When I was younger, I took an anthropology class. And so my teacher, professor, what she did was she taught us, or she told us that there was a white supremacist who didn't want to believe that life was started in Africa. So he dug up some bones in Africa and placed them in Asia, and then went around to change the theory that life started in Asia. And so, and people went along with it for a little bit. But then once they started doing a little digging, they realized that they didn't accept that theory, and that theory changed. So why am I saying that? I'm saying in history, people have suggested things to the general public as fact. But once you start doing a little digging around and getting a new information, you should be able to change your mind, or to be able to dismiss a flawed concept, or something that's flawed. So what I'm saying, because someone said that you'll be talking about that you're Indian forever, we have to understand that we can change our mind. We can look at all these new facts, all this new information, and realize that we've been duped. We are not from Africa. And so there might be, and there's this particular group of people that's all over the internet trying to accuse us of being African and calling us stupid and doing all this demeaning things. And maybe those people might be the Africans. That's all I want to say.
No, those are actually self-hating Americans. Those are self-hating Americans who have accepted a narrative from their so-called European superiors, or as we would say, the massa. So yeah, those
They are
self-hating Americans, them
beaten and
niggas,
submissive
right?
Tobies.
Them
They
niggas
are
know,
beaten
them niggas already know by no means are them niggas African. They can't, cause they can't prove it. An African knows he's an African. It's unquestionable. An African can tell you things about Africa that nobody else can. That's how you know somebody's actually an African. They identify with Africa. These
Or
niggas don't
have a
identify.
relative.
These niggas don't
Now,
identify.
these Jamaicans, can
They
we
are,
circle back to the Jamaicans for a moment? These Jamaicans, okay? Now, the collusion behavior of a Jamaican agent is already a subservient subject of the British Crown. Is that not correct, Queen Mother? And what is the difference between a subject and a citizen?
I don't know,
Anyone
but
know?
let's see. I don't know. I can't distinguish the difference right now. Cause some of this shit
Well,
sounds
in monarchies, people did not have citizenship nor the status of a citizen. They were bestowed as a serf or a peon, the authority granted to them by their landlord, or the noble, or the duke, or the earl, because they were wards of the monarchy. You follow me? They were subject to the supposed authority from the Pope and theocracy to exist as servant to the crown. You follow me? That's why they all wailed and hollered and jumped up and down and fell off in the street when the queen died. In every one of the Commonwealth and all of the island nations, did they not do that? Now, Charles is going to have some serious problems because some of these niggas are waking the fuck up. But they are still subjects. They are not even citizens of their island nations. They are subjects to the crown. That makes them agents, provocateurs, and colonizers to the American. Just a thought.
You cooking? Yeah, agents over here trying to claim everything that's not theirs, like pirates.
So, Sister Bethy, do you still got that chart of the generational timeline? Yes. Yes. The silent generation. That's what I couldn't remember. That time frame right there.
And what say you, Straight Smoke, about why they were silent?
Because they came after the greatest. I mean, if you look at it in depth of the times that they had was going on, the materials they had, you got to really dive down and understand how living was first and foremost. Once you do that and get the, you know, topography and, you know, the groundwork on it, everything like that, you'll understand the way of life starting out. And that all starts with family, and that starts with gardening back then.
Isn't that the
You
Jim
follow me?
Crow era?
Well, it depends on which one you want to actually
That's
look
what I
at it.
was waiting on someone to observe. If they're coming after the greatest generation who were born and became adults in World War II.
But those people in that time was under the Margaret Sanger Act as well. That's when eugenics popped up. Okay, I mean, like strongly popped up, where they was just taking the cream of the crop of everybody's kids. The rest of them was used for body parts. I don't think a lot of people understand what Margaret Sanger stand for. That chick is something else.